All right, y'all, welcome back to another edition of Kayfabe and Chill. And as you can see, we're down a man, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have an amazing show because we got a lot of stuff to talk about: wrestling, some movies, some Marvel, some a little bit of extracurricular stuff. But yeah, right next to me is my main man, my tag team partner, the living legend. It's not just a gimmick. He'll for real steal your mom and your girl's mom too, Mister.
What time is it? It's Mr. CC time. That's what we're talking about
It's
now.
Cougar time.
It's
It's
cougar
Miss
time. There you go.
the Cougar
There we go.
connoisseur, Ephraim, my man. How you
So
been?
guys, how's it going? How's life? How's your week? How's work? How's the kids? How's everyone doing? And how's everyone's mom doing? That's the best question that I need to answer right now.
We'll leave a little pause there for them to respond.
No? Okay. Cool.
And all good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
appreciate you leaving your comment. We got like I said, we got a packed show today. Where let's see. Let's start off with wrestling because I feel like it's honestly the vibe of wrestling lately kind of weird.
Oh
Kind of
wait. Also, I don't mean to cut you off and get into the next part,
for sure.
but we want to say we're sorry for not being here last week. We had a lot of personal issues and a lot of things that we had to deal with in our
Yep.
own lives.
Yep.
So we want to make sure that you guys understand that we'll put our episodes more frequently as we can, but
Yeah.
we just want to say we're sorry and we're glad that you guys are here again and watching us. Or if
Yeah.
you guys still watch us, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been trying to get like a consistent show going. So this is, yeah, absolutely. We are yeah, obviously life just happens. And yeah, as you
Hmm.
can see with Ray, sometimes they take us away from our duties. That or he's just going full heel. He's not giving the fans what they want.
Hmm.
We'll have to
Oh,
check
want
in
to go
with
see Post Malone over us?
I know,
Want
I
to go see
know.
Posty?
Posty. I mean, we'll have to check in with the Ravers next week and see how this Posty concert, if it was worth it. I mean, come on now. This episode, not to brag while
Hmm.
we're ahead, but it's gonna be a banger.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's us too.
But with that said, starting off on a weird note, WWE, it's been it's kind of a weird chapter we're in this long story of the WWE because obviously we got the WWE cuts,
Oh yeah,
um,
yes sir.
and a weird like. What did you think of this batch? Because it included names like Dakota Kai, Cora Jade, Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, which I'm torn up about, me personally, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Jakara Jackson. A lot of names there that of varying degrees of like relevancy and just like in terms of
Hmm.
hotness, like in terms of the storyline and all that stuff. Yeah, man. What did you think hearing about these cuts and what names stood out to you the most?
I mean, the main one, I think you know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Cora Jade. I'm a big Cora Jade fan. I was sent for Cora Jade. I've liked her since she first debuted on NXT 2.0. I think she's really talented. She has a lot of good character work when she's actually not injured. And me, saying that
Character
injury, I
work.
think,
Character work, is that what we're calling it in
hey,
2025?
when I call it, I'm not trying to say assets here, but before she had those assets, she was really great in the ring. I think she was like a sole survivor at one of the War Games matches with Candice LeRae, if I remember way back when.
Hmm. Hmm.
When it was, I think, like team, what was it? Toxic Attraction with Mandy Rose versus like Cora and Io and all them. So she was very popular back then in 2.0. But I think, of course, the assets that she added throughout her career, I mean, of course, that's a lot of character work right there. Two big characters, as we like to say.
Very,
But
very outstanding character work right there.
oh yeah, 100%.
Which apparently
Uh,
she will continue to develop as um, you know, as she continues her career. Apparently, it's going to cost us a
are we
lot of
jumping into
money.
this? Are
Apparently,
we
it's going to
jumping into
cost.
this?
We don't have to
Off the
jump into
bat?
it too much yet. We don't
Off
have
the
to jump
bat?
into. Well, I mean, what is there? Okay, go ahead. What do you want to talk about with this? You have
I
any
mean,
thoughts? You
look,
have any thoughts?
a lot of wrestlers have been leaving the business. Like I want to say Lacey Evans, Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them want to get more into that industry, which I mean, it's really not a sin anymore. I mean, what I think WWE back then had Playboy. You know the Playboy issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah. Yeah.
Sable and Ashley Massaro. I mean, shoot, that's how you pull in viewers. I mean, all these guys are crushing on one of these wrestlers at some point. Like your crush is Io, mine's Rhea. I mean, of course, we like him more just because, I mean, they're badass women too, but we still find them as women. We find them attractive.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
wrong?
definitely a factor. It's definitely a
Yeah.
factor. Yeah.
So I think Core getting released and her doing that, it's not something that she's not dumb about. That's how she's gonna make her money. I think her being single and doing her own thing and losing this part of the wrestling business. I mean, she's still gonna wrestle. She'll probably be a Ring of Honor, New Japan, TNA.
Yeah.
I don't think AEW is an option for her. Maybe it is, but she was there before and it just didn't work with her. AEW has way too much talent already,
Hmm.
and so I think the OnlyFans that she I said it. Whoops. The OnlyFans that she might set up. I mean, it's gonna make bank in her pocket. It's gonna make a lot of people go broke. I mean, I'm not saying I would, but it's there. The idea is there.
You know,
Corey
if
is Corey
if
is fine.
I will say this, I just added like I just got this channel just got eligible for monetization. So
Oh, really?
if the views go up and y'all are interested, we are willing to dive into the budget and do it for research
Oh,
purposes again for the KNC fans if that's a demand that y'all want. You know,
well,
we'll take the bullets for you guys. We'll make sure that we'll bring weekly analysis from the Cora Jade coverage if that's what y'all are looking
look,
for.
Cora Jade is a baddie. I think we all know that watching her wrestle. I mean, people for Roxanne, but Cora's just the baddie, and I think people will buy that OnlyFans at some point, no matter where she prices that. People are gonna buy it. It's just
Yeah.
how it is, and I think she might be the no. Mandy Rose has it. I mean, I think it's Lacey Evans that has it over Mandy Rose. I think Mandy Rose has like some other thing. Like,
Mm.
I'm not trying to be a goon, but it's all we see on our Instagram page at some point. You know what I mean? We've all seen Lacey
Always, he
Evans do her
says.
things. Yeah. Look,
Always. Damn, Mr.
it's
CC.
look, whatever. All right, let's change the
Moving
next
on,
wrestler.
moving
Moving
on.
on.
Look, one question I wanted to ask, you did bring up AEW. Which of those names that I mentioned, Dakota, Cora Jade, Braun Strowman, Gigi, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, yeah. Which of those names do you see first going all elite? That graphic. Who do you see being on that graphic
Um,
first?
I want to say Gigi Dolan. I don't want to say Braun Strowman because I feel like Braun Strowman is very much a WWE guy, even though he got released, which sucks
Yeah.
for the second time. But we'll get more into that later. But I think Gigi is pretty good in there. I mean, a lot of these wrestlers could go either or, but I think Gigi has a high chance. Maybe Katana Chance and Kaden Carter.
Ooh.
Um, a good tag team wrestling. Maybe they can do their thing in there. Gigi is a good pick. I keep going back to her. I just think Gigi is a big star. I mean, a lot of people know her as Priscilla Kelly instead of Gigi Dolan. That's how I found her as Priscilla Kelly, and she's a very mature wrestler before she got to WWE. If you watch some old clips, y'all look it up. Viewer discretion advice. Um, but it's true. She was very, very eccentric and crazy in her independent days. But I mean, I like her as a talent. I think she'd be great in AEW. I think she could be a star. It's just like you said, those batches of release were kind of like big hitters, without being big hitters. Does that make sense?
I get what you mean. Like they're recognizable names that you're like, oh, Shayna
Why?
Baszler, you know, like has
Yeah,
had
why?
a crazy run. Like, you know, yeah, she wasn't hot with PFC, but
No one like PSC.
no
No
one.
one
It
likes
was
PSC.
the epitome of a nothing burger. But you know, you're like Shayna Baszler. There's a clear character that she can, or like a void that she can fill in terms of that like hardcore MMA centric type vibe that Ronda Rousey provided. So yeah, it's surprising.
I
Dakota
can
Kai
I can see
wasn't.
Shayna.
Yeah, yeah,
I can
yeah.
see Shayna too there. I mean, yeah, Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is. I would say I don't want to say AEW. I feel like she can pretty much be like a Zack Ryder type character.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just
And
touring
what I
around
mean
the
by that is,
Indies.
yeah, being around the Indies and doing her thing. Because I don't see her really wanting to go back to being just one company, one contract.
Hmm.
I think wrestlers want to be a little more free to doing shows, and I know AEW allows them to do that. But Dakota Kai is a really special talent. So being under just one contract or one house, I think doesn't do her justice enough.
Yeah, and I think what I was mentioning Dakota Kai for was just very surprising. Like damage control. She was just literally in
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest one of the biggest factions in the WWE the last 2 years, and then also was in contention for the women's IC title with Lyra Valkyria. They're like the
Mm-hmm.
final two.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a name where I was like, oh wow, this was harsh. And I feel like that was just in general, and the fact that they had a SmackDown right on that day didn't help in terms of the vibe of wrestling as a whole. Like it just had a weird vibe to it. So what I want to get to right now is is the WWE going into a bit of a like are they transitioning out of this honeymoon phase that started, it's arguable when it started. You could say the Bloodline era started it, or you could say Cody's return was a very much like a clear indicator of like, okay, interesting. We're getting new business and that new storyline that a lot of people latched onto, that I latched onto. Um, yeah, and it feels like now after WrestleMania 41, going into this new kind of era, not era, but you know what I mean, like this new storyline chapter of John Cena ruining wrestling. I want to present the question to you, Mr. CC. Do you feel like a tide is turning and we're kind of entering a different phase of WWE where we're not in that honeymoon phase anymore? Now people are starting to, you know, talk about Triple H and it's not as good. It's not as favorable as it once was, as not as trustworthy as we it used to be. So yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, I look at it like this. Wrestling is, as a whole is a business, and I think we look at it differently than like any other sport that we watch. NBA, players have more say so not to be traded. You know what I mean? NFL players, and I think with WWE, it's like you said, it's out of that honeymoon phase, and they're starting to realize that like, hey, we need to bring in talent that's going to be here, that's going to be those top guys that are not. I don't want to jinx any wrestler, but they're not always hurt or out of action,
Hmm.
and there's really they see no purpose in character growth. And I'm not saying Cora is one of those examples, or Dakota, or
Any of the
Gigi,
cuts, yeah.
any of the cuts. But if we look at it deeper, like Kid and Katana Chance are just there on the roster. You know what I mean? And he
Hmm.
had to do what he had to do. He was like, "Look, I have too many stars coming in. I have Penta, I have Ray, I have Jade, I have Cody, I have like all these other wrestlers, Ricky Saints, Ricky
Alberto
Starks, you
Del
know,
Rio.
Beltran. And I think for them acquiring AAA too kind of ruined it for them, and kind of like, look, this puts us in a rock and a hard place because now we have to cut wrestlers out, you know, that get no screen time. I mean, I'm pretty sure people liked him. I'm pretty sure people thought they were cool once I got, sorry, excuse me, once was given a chance. But I mean, Triple H looked at it like, no, I have to cut Katana and Caden and Braun Strowman because there's really no storyline for them going forward. I mean, Braun Strowman ran his course. He put in Bronson. He put over Fatu. I
Hmm.
mean, back then when Strowman did first get released, that was shocking. Like now, it makes sense. Katana and Kaden, they were just a filler tag team. They were there to get people excited to, let's say, a new wrestling star. Let's pretend Mariah May debuted. That's pretty much what they're coming. They're squash wrestlers. They're
Hmm.
going to squash this tag team. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're going to get pinned 1, 2, 3. What was it? There was a certain word for it. They were, I don't know what it was. There was a
Buried?
certain name for it. It's not buried. It was another name. They were like a squash match. I guess that's the way to put it.
Uh-huh.
They were just someone to throw around the ring and make the other wrestler look strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what there were. And I'm trying to think who else. You said, remind me of the names, Braun.
Katana, Shotzi, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Dakota Kai, Gigi, Shayna. Um,
Yeah, or even Shayna. I think Shayna had nothing going for her after her feud with Becky. I think that's what killed her feud. Was the Becky match after she lost to Mania,
yeah, yeah.
which was really a bad look on them. I guess they saw no vision in Shayna Baszler, which I mean, she could be great. She was great at NXT, but you know, you don't book her the same way like you booked her in NXT. It's kind of just like, well, why do I have you here? You're just kind of sitting here.
Yeah. You're just taking up catering.
And I think, I mean, as a business, you know, no matter where we go, they just do and it sucks. They do those cuts, but I think Triple H. I'm gonna quote what it says right here. Triple H is not a bitch. I think he's thinking strategic. He's thinking pretty smart. He knows that he's probably going to get somebody bigger and someone he can bring in the box office.
Mm,
I just think he's being a boss, and maybe it's not him that's doing it. Maybe it's TKO, and maybe it's just that. It's really hard to explain the aspect of behind the scenes because we're not there. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We don't know everything that's going on, so it's kind of hard to put a good explanation about how Triple H should run things. I don't try to be a critic, Triple H. That's one thing I didn't want to try to do, but
Just be a
I
fan.
look at it. Yeah, I'm just trying to be a fan of Triple H. I just think it's he's being a boss, and that's the hard part about being a boss is letting go a wrestler that you want to keep around, but you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's when people point to Triple H specifically as like the maybe you've seen conversations about this as well on the IWC, but I feel like Triple H slander has never been this high or never been this prevalent in terms of the creative aspect of things, the booking, and we gave Vince as much praise, we gave Triple H a lot of praise
Mm-hmm.
when it was working, and now it feels like things have started to uh, go on the other side in terms of people are not loving a lot, some of the storylines that we're picking up, Gunther versus Pat McAfee, which is very sports entertainment. I feel like people are they want the main complaint I've been seeing people have, and I am curious to get your thoughts on this, is the in-ring product has been a little stale, according to some people. And obviously, I personally think, uh, well, me being relatively new, I don't exactly have the greatest frame of reference, but like Monday Night Raw, this past Monday Night Raw, the main event was really sick, really cool. I think that
Mm-hmm.
build up from first of all Jay and Seth having a banger match even before any of shenanigans
Seth never.
happened.
If Seth had Jay at WrestleMania, I think the Jay train would have been totally different than Gunther.
Yeah, yeah, it's just two different styles. Gunther, he has just like a very real like wrestling style, whereas
Mm-hmm.
Seth can delve into everything, sports
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, the wrestling, the storyline. He can do it all. So I feel like I agree. If it was that was the match, then that would have been sick. And then you had the shenanigans, of course, that were really great and well built. But I will say that a lot of like, for example, we critiqued the hell out of WrestleMania 41 and how it just didn't hit. The in-ring stuff didn't hit, and of course, the wrestling, the flippy dippy stuff, as many people have said, you can't rely on that. The storytelling has got to feed into it. But I do feel like there is credence to people critiquing. Again, I don't know if I'm pointing straight at Triple H. People have mentioned TKO, and people have just talked about creative. I think that's just where I'm going to point it at is just creative as a whole. I feel like a lot of it has gotten stale. A lot of it is just okay, they start brawling and security comes out and separates them or backstage beat them up. And yes, there are tropes, but I feel like there are ways to subvert it that I don't know, we just haven't that there hasn't been too much exploration of. And, I would just yeah, so yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on just that whole spiel of everything.
I mean, even then, I think what you're saying is kind of correct. I'm gonna look at it a little differently though, and
Mm.
forgive me if I trail off, which I tend to do on these questions. But I think what Triple H, what he's trying to do here, is he's taking away a lot of storytelling. He's over. I guess the best way to say it is his storytelling is taking over the wrestling in the ring and everything, and it's hard to fall in love with that while these performers are telling a good story, but it's kind of like it's choppy. I guess is what to say.
Someone
Um,
say, hold on, hold on, hold on. Did somebody, my bad. This is gonna be a payoff for a joke, I promise. Did someone say choppy?
oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God, it's my girl right there. What are you doing
Shout
to
out
me?
to the ring
Yeah,
generals,
the
plural.
ring. Oh, Sabrina Carpenter.
That was just perfect. I refuse to think. Did you see that picture of her? She was wearing a Young Bucks t-shirt.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I don't like the Young Buck as much as everyone else does, but man, she likes wrestling. Mm-mm-mm.
You
That's my.
know,
I think that's small wallpaper at some point when I first saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. You know
hmm
what? Vanessa Hudgens wearing that Hot Girls Like Wrestling shirts is somewhere in my screenshot somewhere. I remember I was gonna pull it up on the
Like it's a
screen.
Gunnar episode. So we have Tiffany. I have Tiffany Stratton and hers too.
Yeah, man.
It's
Hey,
like
man.
that. It's like that.
Hey, man.
Uh,
But yeah, sorry. Back
but
to again.
back to the
Ray.
question.
Ray was always the wholesome force in this podcast. So when it's just me
Yeah,
and Mr. CC, Lord
it's a
knows
whole different
who
vibe.
knows what's gonna happen. But anyways, yes, as you were saying, the storyline is kind of taking over the wrestling, a little choppy. Maybe like some points just don't connect a little bit. Because how I picture the booking going is like, okay, we want to get to this at SummerSlam, we want to get to this at, Survivor War Series, and then there's just a lot of space in between where they got to fill in stuff. Are you saying like the in betweens doesn't really, sometimes it doesn't hit from episode to episode?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it doesn't have that same vibe of other episodes. Like this week, these I guess I'm trying to say this without burning my tongue because my tongue's still on fire from the hot Cheetos. Um, but the product that we've been getting from different Raws each time has been different. It's I think we've all felt it. I think it was not this one, but the one we said previously, like with Sammy getting curb stomps. Like it's great, yeah, but where else is the other setup for the other stories? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think with Triple H, he's kind of he thinks it's hard to say what Triple H thinks, and I want to try to pinpoint it the best I can, but it's hard for me because I'm like I want to answer this question, but I don't know how to portray. I mean like release it. I guess say
Okay.
it.
I can articulate it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. There's a lot of big words that CC can't say. Okay, is a speech impediment. All right, leave me alone.
Mhm.
But I think with Triple H, it's hard to speak about this because I mean, I watch as a fan. I don't watch as a skeptic, and I want to watch as a skeptic, but I can't. And that's the hardest part about me when people ask me those questions. Which I'm not saying you don't have to, but it's hard for me to think like that because when I watch the product, I really don't think about it. I think of what's going to happen at the end. Like I'm recently watching all the Avengers movies. I mean, of course, you know what's happening, right? It's Thanos is gonna. I'm watching Infinity War. Thanos is gonna take the stones, erase half the universe, right? He wins.
Mhm.
But when I watched that movie, I wasn't really asking questions. I wasn't trying to think of the next possibility. I was kind of seeing where this goes. And I think with a lot of fans now is that they want it such a certain way. They want this to be like the multiverse of madness, where they want this, they want that, they want that, they want this, they want this, they want that, they want that. And when it doesn't happen, there's no there's no Tom Cruise Iron Man. There's
Mhm. Yeah.
no the original Mr. Fantastic. There is no four Spider-Mans or whatever. There's no Miles Morales. No alternate Doctor Strange. None of that. People go, no, I don't like it. It's shit. I expected this. I expected that. And if I'm going off again, come get me back and put me back on the trail here.
Mm.
But
No,
I just think with
no, no,
you
no,
on, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. Well, I was really wanted to chime in terms of I have this theory that I've heard about from Sam Witwer, Darth Maul, and super cool guy. He has this
That's my
theory,
dude. Met him.
super sick, and he has this theory where he talks about how there's this window, right, where as a kid. And you hear a lot about wrestling and a lot of people who got into it as kids or they were passed on generations. And, when you're a kid, what you're exposed to something and you want to figure out what you like about it and you kind of fill in the blanks. Like I think about going back to my GameCube games, right? And how amazing I thought the graphics were. And I look at it now and I'm like, wow, like, it looks like 8-bit damn near compared to like fucking GTA 6 is coming out soon, right? And then, well, soon, like a year. But then you watch, and so there's that window as a kid where you just want to like stuff, and that ends up influencing your taste. But then as we get older, for some reason, that window of like margin for error kind of closes, and we start to
Mm-hmm.
develop this ego for, oh, I want this to happen. Oh, I think this should happen. This
Mm-hmm.
this would be a banger. Oh, if this person shows up now for this event, I think that would be the best going forward. And when it doesn't happen and something pretty good, we're presented with something that's pretty good that we would have liked as a kid. We just don't like it because it wasn't what we wanted. I think that's kind of feeds into what you're talking about is, yeah, we all want the big, you know, we want the big destiny moment whenever, like, however, every
We
episode, you know?
we want a surprise return. We want, like it was Roman's title reign, right? Every time Roman defeated another wrestler, John Cena returned. When he beat John Cena, Edge returned again. After he beat Edge, Brock Lesnar came back. Or
Yeah.
when Brock Lesnar went out, somebody else came back.
Or
Like it was a
like
lot of
LA Knight.
things.
I was thinking of Crown Jewel. Wow, like we all loved LA Knight. Oh my God, he remind people of their childhoods with Stone Cold and The Rock. Oh my God, wouldn't he be great to beat the Roman? And then when Roman won, it was like, oh, that's disappointing, you know?
And went,
But yeah, so I do agree. I think people, that's the problem when you start. I do want to get your thoughts on this as well. We're just going off from tangent to tangent. Is the fans, the role of the fan, I feel like the crowd in particular has evolved, and I think WrestleMania 41 was the greatest example of that, where I feel like the fan, at least the US fan, has gotten very entitled as to exactly what we're talking about. Is there's this ego, there's this entitlement towards like what they want. And yes, they do have a role and they do in certain aspects um decide the course of things, like think of LA Knight, how over he got, how Cody, we
well, I
want
mean,
Cody. That was a whole
the
movement. But
the biggest one is Jay, I would say, because
yeah.
I like look how. I mean, even me, I wanted Jay to win that Rumble. Did I think he needed to win it? No. There was bigger storylines ahead of him. Maybe another year. But you look at that, every fan that we want Jay to win. He deserves it. He deserves it. When you give him that chance, look how quickly y'all turned on him. His match with Gunther wasn't great. Oh, I don't want him against Gunther. The storyline's been boring. It's been no build up. And we've even spoken about how boring it was and how lackluster it was. And
Yeah.
how Gunther wasn't the right opponent for Jay. Like, he didn't need to win that Rumble. I wanted him to win it for a underdog perspective. It was like when Santino almost beat Del Rey in the Rumble. You know what I mean? We all wanted Santino to win it.
Yeah.
But like the American fans have such an ego now, and of course we're one of them. We live in the USA. We're
Yeah.
Californian and a Texan. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
two notorious states in the USA. Um, but I mean, they've had this ego ever since. Um, okay, I'm gonna put this back into perspective. When I was younger, I really enjoyed wrestling because I didn't hear the fans. I didn't care what they thought. I mean, yes, it would have been cool seeing what they talked about during, Eddie and Brock and the younger, that SmackDown and Raw from 2000 to 2007 or 8. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I really didn't. They didn't have that fan interaction back then. There was no internet wrestling community, probably online, but we're too young to be online. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was such a different vibe because you didn't have these fans saying, "Oh, they did this." And I think when you go to different wrestling accounts, you see them complain about every situation that happens. Oh, here's Becky Hogan again. Here
Hmm.
is John Cena again,
I
and
saw
that's
EO
not
Hogan getting thrown around, and I was getting ready to
exactly.
throw my phone out the fucking window.
Um, Daniel Bryan says it the best. Wrestling fans are fickle. They don't understand. They're fickle. They want one thing, and they're like, I don't want to play with it anymore. We're done. And it's hard to be a babyface in this day and age because people get tired of everything so much. And
Yeah.
to your poem you wrote this week about being a heel,
Hey, thank you.
you can walk. I mean, great poem by the way. Just want to say that it
Appreciate
was
that.
poetry in motion.
Hey,
Poetry in motion. Little Jeff Hardy reference right there.
hey.
But wrestling fans are so fickle. They want something, and they're just not gonna be happy no matter what you do for them. And I think that's what I mean, I was one of those skeptic wrestling fans that used to be like, this should happen and this should happen and it fucking sucked. And I mean, I grew up with watching Brock Lesnar terrorize WWE from 20 since he debuted all the way to he finally left. Like, I hated that man. I wanted someone to take it. And every time Brock won, dude, I hated it. It
Mm,
was the worst time of my life. And I think watching that kind of made me go, you know what? I'm just going to turn my brain off and just watch it. Because the more I think about it, the more angrier I get about certain situations. And I'm overall not going to watch it anymore. Like, that's how bad it got to me.
mm.
And I think wrestling fans all in general need to turn it off, turn their brains off, and just watch the product. Be a fan. What Triple H said. I really agree with what he said. I liked it because it made so much sense. Now, of course we're gonna have our opinions on different matches and stuff like that, but we just need to. Wrestling fans are fickle, and if they don't like something, um, they make it known, and which is fine. But some things are set in motion. You gotta deal with it,
Hmm.
and it just sucks. I don't know. It's a unique perspective on being an American wrestling fan.
And it's what makes wrestling beautiful is the
Mm-hmm.
synergy. It's the symbiotic relationship between the fans and, like you mentioned, Daniel Bryan is ironically enough one of the biggest benefactors of the fans. The hijacking of the Yes movement was, you know, one of probably, depending on who you ask in the industry, either the best or the worst thing to happen, right up there with like, what and yeet and all the big
And I
catchphrases.
honestly think Daniel was the only one for a full year or two to have that momentum stay with him. It's because he wasn't just that movement. You know what I mean? He just
Yeah.
wasn't the yes movement. He could produce a match. He can set out matches. He can put on compelling storylines with Miz, with Shane,
Yeah.
with Kane, with Authority, with Randy, the Nexus, the Shield. I mean, the Nexus, the Shield. Um, with Jay, it's really hard to have that compelling story when they don't give him good product. Same thing with Gunther. You need to give them good product because if you don't give them good product to wrestlers, then what's the point of giving them this title reign? Like Logan Paul is his first wrestler. Like I love Logan Paul. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Logan Paul hater. I think he's great. He's a great heel for Jay. But it just doesn't make sense to give him Logan Paul. You want to make your champ look presentable. You want to make him look like the champ of Raw, the second top dog to John Cena, which John Cena's miles ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
But you're trying to make this world title relevant again. Like, okay, give them. I wouldn't mind having left. Like I said, Sammy should have turned. It would have gave a credibility match of Sammy versus Jay, and it would have been great. You know what I mean?
And going on with what we were talking about last week, the way to do that is to get Mr. Killer Cross involved in that somehow because like he's already involved with Sammy. You could have that. I mean, if we're talking about fantasy booking, since you opened that door, I would have loved Killer Cross to have already become such a big like antagonist in this whole thing. So that way, I don't know, like I would have liked to see Jey Uso and Killer Cross and two people that are major over, but in different
Mm-hmm.
ways. I think that would just be such a banger moment for both of them. And
With wrestling fans too, they're gonna push the wrestlers to the top, and that's something I'll give them credit for. They like wrestler, they'll push them.
yeah,
It's just really hard when they say we like this person, and then like 2 months later, it's like, yeah, we don't like them anymore. We don't want them as champ, and it gets very like it's fickle. You're like, dude, pick a side. Like, what are you doing? Like all these Cody crybabies, you know what I mean? Like, I love Cody, but all the Cody crybabies, we want Cody, right? And then what? 2, 4 months later, oh, Cody's reign's boring.
dude, I was incredibly annoyed. I will admit, very much I was a Cody crybaby. Shit was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock just jumps in, da 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 da. The finish of the story was amazing. WrestleMania 40, it was an amazing moment. And to me, seeing that whole conversation start to cement and get bigger and bigger, to me, I was annoyed because first of all, you go into this AJ Styles feud, which
Great feud, by the way.
great feud. You had the Mark Henry moment, which was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. And yeah, sure, people called it. I think I remember hearing like Mark Henry being yelled in during the segment, but super entertaining. I think people they don't know what they want. They want to be shook the
Mm-hmm.
way that WrestleMania 40 did, or you know, Roman coming back at SummerSlam. They want those big, like, earth-shattering moments. But sometimes, in my opinion, you can let me know how you feel about it. Predictability is good because it means that you set something up
Yeah,
and then you follow through on it. And yeah, like so AJ Styles, what they go into afterwards? It was
I think it was the Samoan feud with the Samoan
right.
Bloodline feud
Well, there was
with
Logan Paul at
Logan. Yeah,
Crown.
did he face Logan or was it Gunther?
That was, I think it was one of the Saudi shows was Logan and then Samoan and then Crown Jewel with Gunther. And then we went back to the Bloodline
Jacob.
storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I think as reigns go, I've obviously again recently a fan, but I've been watching those like retrospectives of title reigns, and it always is the first title reign is always very controversial just because people don't know what to expect. They're always reeling from the last champion, right? As those big
Yeah,
long awaited title reigns are always them. The reason why that's a long awaited title reign is because they want to, partly because they want to see it taken off whoever the current guy is, you know? And it's always,
I
and
think
then they start comparing it to like what that feeling was of the previous champion. Why am I not feeling it with this current champion? I think the video I watched recently, great video by Super Kick Studios. It was Drew McIntyre's
oh
2020,
Jesus,
2021. What happened?
38-64 Thunder.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Damn, they got, hey, Nuggets stole game one, man. That was like a
This
legitimate like
Thunder
robbery.
Thunder said no come back this time. They said you're gonna get put down, and not come back.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No Knicks again, no Indiana, none of that.
Oh
You're
my
getting put
God.
down.
Yep.
You saw
Yep.
what the Knicks did, right? To Boston?
Yeah, my dad just texted me like, "Oh shit, they got another one somehow, some way."
Yeah,
Hey man,
that's
good
wild.
riddance. Good riddance. I'm here for the Celtics not winning one bit. I don't know how you feel about the Celtics, but nah, I could do
I
without
think
them.
as a Spurs fan, we're neutral to Celtics because we got no beef with them. It's because KG and Tim were like that. I think that's why during that time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
So I
was
think we got no beef.
growing up, I was a Kobe guy, and then obviously being from the Bay Area, Warriors. So we just recently faced against them 3 years ago, and then Kobe guy, we don't already just fuck the Celtics. So it's just it's
You're ready.
deeply ingrained in me to celebrate the Knicks beating the Celtics. But anyways, digressing from that, I think the general consensus of the conversation is that like the fans we're trying they're trying to figure it out right now. Like what is this post kayfabe breaking WWE looking like? Like, you have John Cena. I think a lot of people have talked about this meta kayfabe of like he's ruining wrestling. He's a heel by not giving you what you want, by not giving you the new music and the new look and giving you a bad match. People have gone that deep into it where it's like WrestleMania 41, that was a bad match on purpose because he's ruining
I
wrestling.
I
Um,
also think too. I mean, going back to that. I mean, not even going back to that, but wrestling fans always look for the next who's going to take the belt off this person.
right
They'll
away. Yeah.
always, and I think I've heard that before from somebody, a wrestler. It's been a long time, but they're always looking for the next person to be replaced. And it's hard to, and that's when you kind of like lose the joy of that title reign. Like when Cody first won it, who's taking it off of Cody? Who's taking it off of Cody? It's going to be Jacob Fatu? Is it going to be this? Da, 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 da. And you're
Yeah.
kind of like, it ruins that first title reign after they win it. Like, come on now. Like, let Cody cook with these two matches and then, okay, now let him build. Let him build his story and see who's going to be able to take him down. And that at that point, WWE should be building a star by then, able to take down this ultimate heel that can take down Cody Rhodes, which they built John Cena to be, of course, and it's just building stars. And I think wrestling fans don't want people to be built unless it's their favorite. And when their favorite finally gets that push, it's like it was too late. We don't want it no more. We want LA
Exactly.
Knight. Or now we want Jey Uso. And now Jey Uso, we want Karrion Kross. And after Karrion Kross, it's going to be, so and so because Karrion Kross wasn't pushed all the way to the title shot immediately. And, they're fickle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people deep dive into every match now and try to explain the reasoning why this happened and this happened. But just be a fan.
Just be a fan. Yeah, and
Just be
and
a
you know
fan.
what? And and just to have a little bit added some nuance to the conversation in terms of Cody's reign in particular. I did see a comment that I like kind of downgraded, but now I have come around to it, is that like me being a Cody fan first and foremost, but also trying to just enjoy things. I that's a rule for myself is like I just try to find things to enjoy instead of just focusing on the and nitpicking. Um, there is an aspect of Cody's reign that is tainted a little bit in retrospect because of that motherfucking Samoan bald fraud. You start literally day after
Boss
WrestleMania,
fraud.
you bald fucking fraud. With you don't have the time to grace us with your bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah. Look, I'm a number
You
one
know?
Rock hater. So anything you want to share in the Rock, by all means, let's go for it.
Amen.
I'm down for
Yeah.
it.
Talk about Raw after Mania. He comes in and the crowd is chanting, "This is awkward," because it's just these long pauses of The Rock. And, we set up the mystery of the watch, which we've never come back
It's a
to.
little. Let the Rock tell you that the Rock knows what he's doing. I was like, no, Rock, sit your brony ass down. You don't know shit about what you're doing at the moment, man. Like,
I know. It's just goofy and silly, and there's a reason Punk called him Mr. Midlife Crisis because it does, in retrospect, feel like a stupid midlife crisis. And there is an aspect I am willing to accept that critique of like the Cody's reign was diminished a tiny bit, a little bit, just because there are storylines that weren't resolved, at least not as of yet. So yeah, again, majority of it, I feel like super valid. The fans are weird and very fickle, and but also there is bits where creative does fail. So yeah,
yeah,
I think
they do fail.
that's like the takeaway of this conversation. I hope people take is that we there are a bunch of different factors that lean into people uh falling short of expectations, but also sometimes it's us. We are the problem sometimes. And
Yeah.
then, we end up fucking things up because transitioning into a little bit of a different topic into the MCU. Did you have any last points or are you cool
No, because
transition?
that's a good transition too, because the MCU has its issues for a long while for Phase 4 and Phase 5, or Phase
But
4 and 3.
I saw this. I was looking at the slate of Phase 4 and 5, and I was looking at it. I was like, there are misses. Two in particular, Quantum Mania and Thor: Love and
Ugh,
Thunder.
oh my
Um,
God, don't even talk about those.
But everything else, in my opinion, Secret Invasion 2 was another big
Yeah,
miss. I didn't even watch it, but from what I saw, like
and
recaps.
Echo.
Oh, Echo was a miss too?
I tried watching Echo like 3 or 4 times after it came out, and I was like, man, I'm trying. I'm
Mm,
really trying. I mean, the acting is great. It's just so slow paced and so boring to me. I like the
yeah.
character. I read some of her stuff, but it just wasn't done MCU wise, and it just wasn't a story needed to be told. Besides having Kingpin have like a disciple he can use, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just odd.
Yeah. And we'll get to why I think that was one of the shows that was a result of creative overhauls or creative
Yeah,
compromises. But what I wanted to say was when you look at Phase 4 and 5, and the slate of it all, for the most part, I mean, it ranges from like this is passable, this is decent, it was entertaining. Like I think of the Marvels in that realm where I was like, I
can you
enjoyed it.
can you bring up the movie so I can see too? I
Oh
kind of
yeah, yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about the phases.
for sure. Actually, yeah, that would
I
be.
was like,
Let me see.
show our audience what we're talking about here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
They're
see,
like,
is
I
this
don't
good?
watch the MCU. You don't watch the MCU and subscribe to us. How dare you? If you don't like Florence Pugh and Elena, and then you can't be our friend. Like, we don't
Hey
want you.
man,
We're kicking you out. No.
yeah, you are officially banned from watching this podcast. Um, Pulling it up here. I think this is just like an announcement slate, so there might be some stuff that didn't make the cut.
And we can even go over that too.
Oh yeah, well
Let us know in the
like
comments.
this one right here. Like
Oh
this
man, yeah.
motherfucking movie that is it feels like a home run waiting to happen, but we still haven't gotten. But anyways, with that said, um see this is phase 4. Where's phase 5? But yeah, so this is phase
I think Phase
4.
5 is starting.
Phase 5 is starting. But
Yeah,
as you
because
can see here, I mean for the most part either passable like I put it in. I think it was Cody who said that he likes to think of it in baseball terms, so it's like some stuff is going to be a home run, a grand slam, some things are just going to be a double, like for example
yeah,
the first Ant-Man, passable movie, really fun. That was a double, and it led us to the next movie. um Let me know if you disagree with any of it, but that's crazy. Shang-Chi
I was like, let's go down the slate and give
2021.
us like an honest opinion about each movie and show.
I would love that. I would love that. So, first movie after Endgame, Black Widow.
I thought Black Widow was an excellent film.
I
People have
agree.
so many mixed opinions about it, but I mean, it sets up a whole nother universe. I mean, it could have been earlier Phase 2, Phase 1, because Black Widow needed her own solo movie. Um, People are going to see it no matter what, but I think they wanted to build her character a little bit more and more back step because I think the outlove and of support that she got during Infinity War and Endgame. What happened? Of course, one of those movies made this movie possible. Black Widow was great. I mean, ScarJo was great in that movie.
Yeah.
We got to introduce to Yelena, which y'all know my feelings towards that. That's the love of my life right there. We called it. It was a great. David Harbour as the Guardian was great. Taskmaster was the only downside of this movie,
Yeah.
which is comic book readers. We know Taskmaster to be this scary, dangerous individual that's a marksman. I mean, not marksman. I guess marksman, right? Is the
Like
word?
a
I don't know how to say it.
specialist, like
Yeah,
he just like his whole thing is that he downloads and is able to analyze and replicate whoever he's
yeah.
fighting, their moves, their habits, their tendencies, and use it against them,
It,
or
wa-
straight up like mimic it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like it was just the only downside of that movie, but I think everything else was great.
yeah.
Hearing "Smells Like Teen Spirit," I believe in the intro. I mean,
Sick.
it was great. So people don't understand how great that movie was. I mean,
I agree. And also, I
overall,
think there was the COVID tax. I think there was the COVID tax
yeah.
where we didn't get to experience it in the theaters. We're just out here. We had to pay like $30 to watch it in our own homes, which was fascinating. That was a whole
No,
fascinating
I think
era.
Black Widow was. I don't know if it was different over there for you, but I went to see it in theaters. I remember watching it in theaters.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Yeah, maybe it was in theaters. I just didn't feel like going out. The COVID was a terrible time, obviously, but I enjoyed just waking up and staying home. So
Oh yeah.
that was probably just me. But yeah, Black Widow, I agree. I think, you know what? It was a perfect mix of, I saw that um, so first of all, I had that gritty noir spy stuff, which I really enjoy, but also,
Also, sorry, it gave a lot of depth too, a lot of heart to the movie with the
yeah,
character family thing. So, which I want to put in there. But sorry,
yeah.
go on.
No, you're good. And Black Widow is one of those characters too that is like, um, her character is that she's cold. So seeing the family dynamic, you're right. It gives a
Mm-hmm,
lot of depth to her character, and you go back and watch stuff now. You're like, yeah, with the thing with the vest, really cool. Um,
mm-hmm,
but also I think it balanced that with like the very outlandish scenes of like they cited. I'm a big James Bond guy, so Moonraker
mm-hmm.
was one of the biggest inspirations they said for this movie, and that movie is notorious for being one of the goofier James Bond movies. And I feel like Black Widow pulls it off in a way. There are scenes with the CGI that's a little suspect, but in general, I'm willing to forgive CGI. That's never like a oh my God, this shit
Mm.
sucks because they're trying to create something that we've never seen before, and also I give a lot of grace to the CGI artists because like a lot of these things are just it's like a rush to the finish line to get these CGI stuff done. Anyways,
And it's
those are
pretty hard too. Yeah, it's
super
pretty hard
hard.
to get CGI stuff. Like,
Yeah.
shit, I tried it once and it was fucking horrible. Could barely CGI something.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So tangent aside, let's get back into it. Shang-Chi. Woo!
Oh yeah,
I fucked
that
with this one heavy. Heavy.
best combat hand to hand fighting I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. I never knew the character. I'm not gonna sugarcoat and be like, oh, I used to read his. No,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was cool. It was cool learning about his origin, his backstory, his father's backstory. It was cool to figure out the Mandarin. You know what I mean? Trying to go back to that and seeing how that was affecting, something that happened back in Phase One
Yeah.
with Iron Man. What, three or two? Was it three or two?
It's three. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So back into Phase Two, yeah, probably. And like best hand to hand combat. I mean, what was the assassin's name with the mask? Oh, what's we got?
His sister?
No, the other one with the mask. The fought the sister.
Oh yeah. I don't remember his name. It's been a minute
I
since I
think it
watched
was like
Shang-Chi.
with a sigh. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was great.
The way they
Characters are
adapted the
great.
rings was what really stood
Yes,
out to me was just how sick it looks, how more tangible it is than just, a ring that just does that shoots energy beams or does this and does that. Like it's actual objects that have clinks and movements and the way they
it
clash at each other like an energy beam like Dragon Ball Z. Like it was sick. It was
which
just
they mentioned in the movie, which I thought was sick at the end.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, they've also it made the rings feel important. Like it was a important device, a weapon in the MCU. Like you
right.
have those rings, you're gonna fuck somebody up. It's like the gauntlet. It's like Loki's staff. Like once you have that, you're kind of like, oh fuck, we're fucked. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that was the best takeaway from that movie is having those rings as important as they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's one of the best of Phase Four. Um, I see one right after Internals that I'm going to talk about, and it's you can see in the back of my ground of this. But I mean, Shang-Chi was awesome, or Shang-Chi, sorry.
Yeah, no,
But best time to come out.
and the biggest thing for me um is that it successfully introduced a character, because I think that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
coming out of Endgame is we lost like three of our mainstay characters: Cap, Iron Man, Black Widow. Am I missing
If we
something?
think about it, though, yeah, if we think about it, what you just said, this whole Phase Four is just introducing new stories and new characters into every movie.
Hmm.
Kang, the Fantastic Four, Guardians with the new Guardians. Blade
Maybe
was supposed
maybe
to
you
be a new
shouldn't have started
character.
off with Kang. We're not
I know,
coming back to
right?
Kang.
The Spider-Mans, the Miss Marvel. I mean, I know she had her own show, but the Internals. You mean Shang-Chi, Yelena, the Guardian? Like, I mean, of course, every Marvel movie is going to introduce a new character, but these guys have been, quite important to the phase right now.
Yeah.
Half of
Yeah.
these guys are Thunderbolts in each movie, either a villain or a hero. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I do want to sort of start skipping around a little bit, because I feel like actually, you know what? Let's talk about the Eternals a little bit. What did you think about the Eternals? Because I enjoyed it for what it was, a little bit more of a different tone than a lot of the Marvel stuff. But I'm curious to hear what you think.
It was not for Phase Four, and I want to say that with heavy, heavy. I liked it. I mean, I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. The cast of characters are cool. Seeing Star Fox as hairstyles of Star Fox, um, that was cool. Big 1D fan, by the way. Like, I love Harry Styles. I don't know why. Like his music. It's just he fucking puts on bangers of songs. So
Yeah.
seeing him as that was pretty cool. Seeing Rob Stark back in one of a big character. Um, I mean, it wasn't a bad movie to introduce it. It's just it feels like a throwaway movie now. At first, it felt like, oh, these characters are gonna be such essential to this MCU now. Like, who are these beings that are gonna come to Earth, and how are they gonna interact with, I mean, no Iron Man, of course, but like Spider Man, Captain America, all these new characters, like how they're gonna interact. The movie itself was great. Well, not great. It was good. I liked it. It was like a 6 out of 10 for me. It
Yeah, but
was
not
it
a
was
not a
decent.
complete miss though, I think
Not
is
not
what
a miss. No, the only thing that's a miss is what are you doing with these characters now? Because it's
right.
such a drastic change from Internals came out what November 2021.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, November 2021.
yeah.
Like it was such a drastic change from what we're used to seeing. And I know they wanted to go more cosmic and more outworld, but I mean, it just wasn't needed in this phase. I think it was much needed for like when we move away from different characters and other characters. Like we know Captain Marvel, we know the Guardians, we know Blade, we know Spider Man. Put
Yeah.
them in Phase Five with the X Men, Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? Like I know they're there, but you know what I mean.
It's gonna be
Put
some
them
heavy
later.
hitters. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So we're gonna skip past the next couple ones. Spider-Man, I think unanimously people call it nostalgia, merchant. But yeah, come on now, it is a really great
it's
time.
it's a great film.
Yeah,
You
great
have two
film.
Spider Mans, not just being characters in the movie, but
Hey,
supporting
not
characters.
not just hey, you need some help, and
Yeah,
then in the
like
third act, but yeah, we actually get development with especially Garfield was fantastic in that movie.
and they bond with each other like brothers. Like
Mm,
I don't know how people just think it's nostalgia bait. Like no, like if you want to talk about nostalgia bait, that's gonna like Deadpool Wolverine. It's not even on here, but Deadpool Wolverine, nostalgia bait. No, I'm sorry, but it's true. I
yeah.
like that movie, but it's nostalgia bait. But Spider-Man: No Way Home has all those you call it those essentials where the Spider-Mans were just more than just a cameo. They're an essential part of Peter's story and how he became Spider-Man. And I think that's just great writing from John Watts as a director, by the way.
Yeah, and also I think successfully graduated him to the next phase of his of what his storyline is going to be. Like
Yep.
I personally feel like John Watts. And oh no, it's confirmed that Destin, the director for Shang-Chi, will be directing Spider-Man: Brave New Day, Brand New Day,
Brand
Brave
new
New
day, yeah.
World, Brand New Day. It's a little too
Same
close for
thing.
me, but it's same deal. Um, so yeah, it does feel like we're gonna get a different tone, different vibe from Peter. So that's exciting, and this movie was a great sort of graduation into that. Definitely the most heavy hitting, like emotionally affecting for me in terms of the Holland movies. Um, but yeah, Multiverse of Madness, I think, falls into what we are talking about is the expectations kind of fucked up that movie, but I think it's an enjoyable time.
It's a great different taste for Marvel, and that's a great film with Sam Raimi
Yeah,
directing that movie.
yeah, adding his own
If you
sensibilities to it, it's great. I think it's a good
if no
time.
one knows Sam Raimi, oh my god, he's the guy that directed all the Evil Dead films, which you all should watch. And they're great films. They're very kooky is the best way to say it,
Yeah,
quirky and
yeah,
horror
can't be.
adjacent. Campy is the word. There you go.
Yeah,
They're great. They're great films. So seeing Sam Raimi dip his toes into this movie and kind of giving it a horror aesthetic, which one it should be that terrifying. We should have more characters like that. I think Elizabeth Olsen does a great performance in there. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is great in that movie as well.
yeah.
Those two characters just going head to head for Chavez, American Chavez.
Hmm.
It's overall a great flick, and people just put all these expectations on it. I thought it was cool with the council of what was it? What were they called in the
The
movie?
Illuminati.
The Illuminati, right? That's what they were called in the
Yeah,
movie.
I
You
believe
thought it was something
so.
else. But yeah, seeing, Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X,
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau, like seeing that was pretty cool. And I think people just wanted, like I said, Iron Man, Tom Cruise. They wanted all these different variants because they're going through the multiverse.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't need it. I think like I said, they shot themselves in the foot. But
And
great film.
also, I think where this film started to get affected, one of the through lines I think um, that ring true for I think the rest of this phase is this is the start of the Disney Plus shows starting to really integrate themselves
Mm-hmm.
into the movies, and Wanda's heel turn, obviously. Um, Now that I think about it, it wasn't necessarily developed in WandaVision. The main thread of that movie is that she wants a family, but she can't have it because of, reality and whatnot. And then all of a sudden in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, well, not all of a sudden, it is because she loses her kid at the end of WandaVision. She turns heel. And yeah, some people didn't like it. Some people were just didn't watch WandaVision and they're just like, oh, okay, I guess Wanda from after Endgame just decided to, go at she's just a villain now. But I don't know. I think this is an example of the content. And in case you don't know, just to catch people up, it was revealed recently as a result of Thunderbolts being, critically acclaimed, that it was revealed that a lot of Phase 4 was uh not filler but
Rushed.
just rushed and also approved without necessarily Kevin Feige's creative input, because in order to please like the higher ups, the Disney stakeholders, and a lot of people putting money and sponsoring the movies, yeah, so now with the Phase 5, and I think we've seen that quality change, and even just like Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, that they're going to be going more towards quality over quantity as opposed to like just filling time slots, right? So, yeah, that I think we're not there yet, but as we get into the Secret Invasions, the Iron Hearts, the some of the what if stuff, it does get a little bit
What if is
unnecessary.
probably gonna What if is probably gonna be the worst one for me because it's not anything what I expected it to be.
We'll get to that in a bit, but I do want to speed through Thor: Love and Thunder because that was just ass. That was just filmed like a commercial. Taika Waititi
Screaming
just
goats is all I think about. Screaming goats.
I think about the
Ugh.
scene with with Jane Foster and Valkyrie with the speaker. To me, that scene was the moment where I'm like, oh, Taika just didn't give a fuck about this movie. Like we're just straight up including like gags that would be included in like SNL and some shit. Like I just did not
And
enjoy that film at all.
it sucks too because my friend, shout out to my friend Miguel, but he was the ultimate Thor fan. He loved Thor, and I was the only. I used to hate Thor. I didn't like him. I didn't see no point of him. Yes, I know. He'll turn. I wasn't the biggest Thor fan growing up. I never liked him. He seemed annoying. He was like that annoying drunk uncle that you don't want at your party.
Yeah.
That's what Thor reminded me of.
Yeah.
So after Ragnarok and Infinity War and Endgame, I started to like him. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, cool. He's actually a character I'm starting to get behind. And then this movie came out, and he just seems like a bubbling idiot. I was just like, yeah, this is why I don't like this character. This is why I forget why I don't like Thor. Like, this is why, because he just his seriousness went all the way. Valkyrie is cool. Jane Foster is cool, especially the ending scene. The ending scene was sad with her going to, was it Valhalla?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that their heaven? Yeah, that was pretty sad. But I liked her being Thor, a female Thor. I thought it was cool. I just didn't like the comedy. I didn't think it should have been. And they ruined Thor, the God Butcher.
How do you set up the omnipotent city, I believe is what it's called, the city full of gods? You have the god killer, and you don't have a fucking butcher house of a scene where he just literally the god butcher. You just have him destroy, clean house, all that. You set it up and you don't even come back to it. I like just things like that where you could add a little bit more gravity to the situation. Instead, it just felt like, and again, it sucks because I've come to enjoy similarly, actually. So don't worry, you're not, this is a safe space for that take. I didn't love Thor's portrayal in the first couple ones, and then really enjoyed him. Became one of my favorite characters, one of the coolest characters in the MCU, and then Thor: Love and Thunder just,
Yep. And
um,
even then, too, I think what you were saying about the God Butcher is that they have Christian Bale,
mm,
Batman, a great actor that can kill any role you give him. And trust me, he's been in a lot of roles than just Batman. He's great. You ever seen American Psycho? You know what I
mm,
mean? Great
mm-hmm.
film. He's great.
Yeah,
Um, but like he was such a wasted character, and for him to just not be this terrifying character that I thought he was, like they say he was in the comics, was kind of a letdown. I want
yeah,
my villains in every MCU movie to scare the shit out of me. I want to feel threatened. I want to feel like they have no hope to beat them. I want the heroes to pull, and it's gonna suck. I want them to be the anime main character to pull out strength like Goku and win at the end
mm,
because that's a great villain. A villain that keeps taking you down. Killmonger in Black Panther, the original one. Michael B. Jordan was par to par. What was it? Killmonger was par and par with Black Panther, T'Challa. Every step, every fight, every punch kicked, every flip, everything. It was toe to toe. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Michael B. Jordan was threatening in that movie when he threw him off the fucking ledge in the water fountain, and he's like, "This is your king." Like, come on now.
mm,
Like that was badass. You're like, that's a villain. He's one of the top. Green Goblin was Spider Man. Like, I was scared of Norman Osborn. Peter is just a kid. He's getting his ass beat by Norman, an old man in a Green Goblin costume. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared of Norman Osborn. Like, this dude got Batista bombed through 3 stories of floor. Like, Batista bomb all the way through. He got
yeah.
speared down. Who else? Wanda. Wanda was scary. You know what I mean?
Jake Gyllenhaal, Mysterio from Far From
And Jake
Home.
Gyllenhaal Mysterio. He was just a dick. He was just an asshole. But you knew he like Peter. You need to get over this. Like you need to figure out how you're gonna beat this guy. Like even Guardians Volume 3. What was it? What's his
The
name in
High
the volume?
Evolutionary. Oof.
Like that man. Jesus
There is
Christ.
no
Like
God. That's why I stepped in.
yeah. So exactly. Like quotes like that need to be more. Like villains need to, and I think we've all known that with MCU villains, they need to be around a lot much longer than what they are. And I think with MCU, they don't do with great villains like that. And the High Evolutionary was a scary man because what he did to Rocket, like fuck,
Yeah.
like you do what I tell you, like that whole performance before him, like it was just great. So I
Yeah.
don't know. The Marvels
Absolutely.
are okay because I don't remember the Marvels villain in the Marvel Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, yeah, she was kind of forgettable to be honest. I think to me the Marvels, what I think
Oh,
about
it
it
was a
was,
girl in the Marvels.
yeah, it was a girl. It was I think it was Tom Hiddleston's real life wife or girlfriend. No, not Tom
Really?
Hiddleston. Oh, someone famous. Someone, oh man, I wanted to say Nicholas Holt, but I don't. I think I might be wrong on that as well.
I totally
Um,
forgot about who the villain in that movie was.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
don't get me wrong, the film was great. I like Brie Larson, I like Miss Marvel, I like Monica Rambeau. I like all three of them.
yeah. I think the
Or
appeal of that movie is the Freaky Friday type vibe to it, just the synergy. To me, it's like a really great like Disney Channel original movie with superheroes, the most high budget version of that. And I don't mean that as disrespect at all. I mean that completely complimentary in terms of like I enjoyed the hell out of it, had a great time. Um,
and credit was pretty cool though too. I guess that's the best way to put it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You remember the end credit?
The it was. Oh my God. I do remember popping for it. Oh my God. It was yeah, the Beast.
Exactly.
Oh,
I guess
fantastic.
best part to describe that movie is that is the end credit.
Yeah. Yeah, that got a really big pop in my theater, I remember, because and they played the theme as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Oh
We
yeah.
did skip Black Panther 2. Just want to say Ryan Coogler is the man. He made something out
Yeah.
of a bad situation. Obviously, Chadwick Boseman unfortunately passing away and decided to shift the movie into being about grief and
And
mourning. And I just fucking I loved
name
that movie. Yeah.
even Namor too. Namor was such Namor was a great character to have in this movie to, rival Wakanda from, Atlantis. I forgot where they're from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it was such a great film to just describe how two people are so different and going through different things, two different cultures.
Hmm.
The Black and the Browns, which I don't want to say like that, but it's pretty much what the movie was based on, and how the white man is controlling pretty much both cultures, and that's pretty much what the message was to that movie. Ryan Coogler always describes that perfectly in whatever movie he talks about. And I'm a big Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan fan, no matter what they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And having call it this emotional impact of T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman passing away, which was a hard subject to touch because you don't want to replace someone that was such an iconic role, and he was such iconic as T'Challa. Like I recently just watched Civil War. Like Civil War was such a great movie because of him.
Yeah.
He was like, I
That
think there's a
third
part where,
party, that third party of just like
yeah,
mediating between the two. What were you gonna say?
there's a part in Civil War where he's like, he's talking to, I think it was to Cap and Sam in the truck when they're getting arrested, and he's like, "How are you gonna stop me when I or something like killing your friend?" And he's like, "How are y'all gonna stop me from getting to him?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys
I
really
think,
think you're gonna stop me from killing your friend? Yeah, it's to that
yeah,
effect. Yeah.
you're like, shit. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, he's right. Like, how the fuck do you kill? And then like that scene where Baron Zemo's on the edge of the cliff, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill myself." You know what I mean? I did what I need to do. Now I'm gonna kill myself. And he's like, "You let vengeance consume you. You let vengeance is consuming the Avengers, but I will not let it consume me." And I was like, that is the most powerful thing I've ever heard.
Mhm.
Like, I will not let the anger and hate, that vengeful spirit in me, consume my entire soul. That's not the king I want to be. And
Mm.
I think having him gone sucked. And I think Ryan Coogler did a just great overall. It's hard to put into words how great he did at that movie.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You talk
it's
about
hard to
that.
watch too.
It is hard to
It's hard to
watch.
watch.
It makes me look back at Black Panther 1 and think about how happy that movie is. How like
Mm-hmm.
joyous, even though yeah, you know, there's a lot of shit that goes down in that film, but there's so much joy captured in that movie that I just really love. And you know, you go into Black Panther 2 and I think the main thing you feel from it is like it's missed. There's a void in it somewhere, and it's Chadwick, which is the point of it. You know, that's the whole point of the film is that we're
It
mourning,
it felt
and
like there
it's
was a
okay.
hole in our hearts. Yeah, it
And
felt like
that's
a
the
hole.
story. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the story, and I think they thrive in that. Uh, if we're talking about again, there are doubles, there are triples, there are home runs. A grand slam to me was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've
It's a great film.
Oh,
Great
just
film.
I don't know how much there is to say. There is so much to be said, but I do just want to kind of speed through the ones that are like we both agree on, or that, you know, there's not as much to say. But Guardians 3, fantastic, great ending, amazing. Quantumania,
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're talking about that
we,
one. I guess we have to.
you know, my thing with this
Um,
film is that
I'll let you go first because I had yeah. You go
yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah. I'll set it up so that way you can knock them down. For me, Quantum Mania, I was very excited for when I heard Jonathan
Hmm.
Majors is being hired for to be the big bad moving forward. I'm like, sick, cool. I enjoyed his portrayal. I think, yeah, it says May 2021. Um, even though there's just like an announcement slate, but I feel like we did watch Loki at this point. So we saw Kang or the what was it? He Who Remains at the end of Loki.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, this dude has such a great presence on screen. I'm so excited to see what he does. And then Quantum Mania comes out. This shit was a two pack of ass. This shit, this the action, the sequences felt like Spy Kids.
Hmm.
Um, like in terms of CGI, and I know I just said I'm not gonna rag on CGI, but just in terms of concept, this shit was terrible. You had that guy, what's his name, like Razor or Ray something? That
I haven't seen that movie in forever. That's how bad it
the
was.
guy who can read minds, the actor for that. I love him in The Good Place. I remember he was in talks to be Reed Richards,
Oh
and
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
to see him relegated to this nothing of a character really also tanked it for me as well. I really enjoy his stuff. I thought he was going to be someone really cool, but also just coming back to Kang is I remember that being like the main positive point people would take away from was like,
Hmm.
oh man, Quantumania was ass, but at least Jonathan Majors did his thing. He felt so evil scientist,
Non-threatening.
prototypical, yeah, like oh, I'm gonna take over the world. Like just like kooky, zany little scientist. Think about like what that archetype is. Um, and also, so my big take about Quantumania is that to me, Quantumania is an Avengers level threat. I feel like this could have been like a Civil War level Avengers collab film because you cut to the end and it's Kang getting two-pieced by a bunch of ants. Like that is how we're gonna, in canon, in storyline, obviously, I'm sure there was more to be done with Kang, but in that, as we have it, Kang was was beaten by an army of ants. And if you're gonna make me believe that this is a believable character that we can, we're supposed to fear, that just doesn't do it for me. And I feel like having a Shang-Chi who at this point was introduced as an Avenger, you have, America Chavez, you have Captain Marvel herself, you got Shuri.
You had Spider-Man, you had Doctor Strange,
You have all these characters and you don't,
and you had Captain Marvel. Like,
yeah. Yeah, any of the Marvels, and Miss Marvel as well. Well, yeah, Miss Marvel, you have her at this point for sure. Um, this was a perfect opportunity to just sort of bring the band together and have some sort of connective point where you're like, oh, okay, all right, the Avengers are still around. Because as of right now, honestly, even after Thunderbolts, you're kind of like, where are the Avengers? Like, do they even exist at this point? Um, so yeah, it's Quantumania for me, it was just such a swing and a miss. What do you think? Did I pretty much get most of your points, or do you have anything else to add to that?
you, I mean, the only thing you pretty much got everything in the head. Um,
Sick,
I
sick.
watched it with my grandma in theaters because my grandma was the only one who wanted to go.
Oh, bless her
Shout out to my
heart.
grandma. Yeah, she wanted to go. And I told her not every Marvel movie is like this. I did not expect it to be like this. I remember telling her saying that in the theater. I was like, dude, I do not this is not a Marvel movie you want to see. I mean, my grandma was like, it's just a movie. I find it cute. The little CGI creatures, whatever, in the Quantumania world or whatever.
Mhm.
But my only concern is Kang is supposed to be your big bad villain. You know what I mean? I get it, there's different variants. I get it. But the way you build him up in trailers and posters, like he was this big all like end all be all character
Yeah.
that was gonna kill Ant Man. I expected Hank or not Hank
Scott?
Scott to be trapped in that world with him, and then pretty much Kang trapping him and like holding him together and keeping him pretty much dead, and then resurrecting him or whatever his powers are able to do. I expected something like that where Scott was getting tortured down there.
Yeah. The line in the trailer was, "I don't need It was the Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker type thing. I don't need him. I don't need to beat you. I just need you to lose.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that scene where I thought we were getting that Kane was when they were all trapped in that I guess prison.
Yeah.
And Kane's talking to each one of them. He's like, I could do this, and like he picks somebody up and throws him. I forgot who it was. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so it's fuzzy. But he picks somebody up and he tortures the shit out of him. And he's like, Iron Man, I killed him. Thor, I killed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's naming off each adventure he killed in each timeline. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty scary. And then for him to get taken down by ants kind of killed Kang for me. Like I didn't want to see him. He wasn't really a villain, I thought, in the first place. Watching the MCU after Thanos, he wasn't someone I picked. I was saying Doctor Doom, maybe Galactus, maybe the big hitters. I know Kane's a big hitter in the comics, but once he got taken out by those ants, it was kind of like, yep, that's done. That was done. He had me for like a good 20, 30 minutes of the movie. And then once the ants attacked him and finished him off, and I was like, and that's dead. I hope we never see this fucking guy again. And, not the actor itself, but the character, because, Jonathan Majors is great. I think he's a great human being on how he handled his situation in real life. And, I mean, there's some stuff that I'm blurry on, but I know he's a great actor too. So I don't
Mhm.
want to take what he's done outside and for it to ruin his work. But that's
Yeah.
the world we live in, which sucks.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it ruined the character for me, which I never wanted to see him to be an MCU villain ever again. So
Yeah. And also Quantumania has the probably the post-credit scene that aged the worst.
no, yeah, all the Canes, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, they made the decision to make it all Jonathan Majors, which I agree. I'm with you. I enjoy his work. Magazine Dreams, which just came out, was fantastic, and yeah, he Creed 3 was amazing as well. So I
He should have been the
absolutely.
other brother in Sinners, by the way.
Oh,
He
that's
probably should have been
interesting.
he probably would have been Smoke if I'm being 100% honest in Sinners.
That's interesting. That would have been sick. But yeah,
Because I know he was working on a film with Coogler. That's why.
mm, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, Quantumania, and I feel like again that's like a recurring trend throughout all of these movies. Besides, um, besides the Marvels, I think Black Panther 2 had a great post-credit scene. Is that a lot of those post-credit scenes they kind of amount to nothing or just kind of whatever. Uh, and yeah, so that goes into obviously we haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, but that looks fantastic. Um,
Pun intended.
Fantastic, man. It looks and then we got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How do you feel about this one? This one I
I was
have
really skeptic about that one.
yeah.
I liked it. I thought Sam Wilson was great. I like that speech he gave at the end, which really, I mean, I've always liked Anthony Mackie ever since A Mile. I watched him in A Mile as Papa Doc.
Hey.
This is a gang. He's a gangster. His birth name is Clarence. Like, I mean, crap.
Classic.
That's how old school I liked him. He was cool. He's always been a cool actor, especially when he was playing Falcon. So seeing him, take that mantle, he's like, I'm never gonna be enough. Like the whole speech at the end of him, like, I'm Captain America. I was like, okay, I'm behind this guy as a character. Like, I believe he's Captain America. Um, Baron Zemo's a great villain. A lot of people sleep on Baron Zemo because they don't know much about him, but he's the only man that's been in the Avengers. He broke them apart. He did what he did. You know what I mean? He said he was gonna break the Avengers apart. He did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He took them apart. The power breaker, if I remember correctly, was it Sharon Carter?
Sharon Carter. Wait, yeah,
With
Sharon Carter. Yep.
Yeah, which was a good twist to make her a little more heel turn. Which I was like, okay, cool. Bucky getting invited to the cookout was the best part. I think Bucky's a great character. I like Bucky no matter what he's in. I think he has that aura. He has that Roman Reigns aura when she shows up, especially in Thunderbolts.
Oh,
He's great. I mean, if y'all don't know, he becomes Captain America eventually, not in Thunderbolts in the comics.
yeah.
He eventually dons, the stars and stripes. I personally like him a little bit more than Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson. He's more cooler. He's kind of more cutthroat than the other two. He's not all Boy Scout, so he's a pretty cool character. Baron Zemo, of course, great villain. Um, He's a great straight. I think he's the only one up there that I think that I'm happy they kept around for the
Yeah,
MCU. I'm happy they didn't kill
seriously.
him off right away.
Yeah.
We skipped WandaVision, but I like WandaVision too. I thought it was a great show. I love WandaVision.
Yeah, yeah, like really fantastic, really utilized the television aspect of it all. Yeah, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier actually would be a good stepping off point because I do want to talk a lot about Thunderbolts and I do
Oh
want to
yeah,
speak a lot
get to it.
about this upcoming segment that we have later on. Um, Thunderbolts, man. Um,
Oh, you want to rate it first?
what's that?
You want to rate it?
Yeah, let's do a quick spoiler-free thoughts on it. Before, I mean, we did kind of no, actually, we haven't spoiled anything about even not even the title, even though they decided to spoil it themselves.
Okay,
Like
Tony
a week
Stark comes
later.
back and he fucks up everybody. He just comes out and starts doing crazy shit. He
Yeah,
starts killing Captain America.
Captain America and John Walker have are gay lovers, and it's a
Oh
fantastic
yeah,
scene, great reveal. Um, so I think we pretty much spoiled the rest of it. I give it, you know what? On a real note, Thunderbolts to me is I could definitely see the what people were talking about in terms of like, wow, this is really good, this is quality. But to me, it wasn't how I put it with my brother, right? Is because he asked me, is it as good as like Guardians 3? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a good question. For me, how I
hmm.
put it is Guardians 3 was super ambitious and it nailed it, and that's what it does. Thunderbolts, I don't know if I want to call it ambition, but it's just very specific in what it wants to do. It knows exactly what it wants to be, and it executes them perfectly. So how I put it was like, let's say Guardians 3 is like a Giannis. Um, Thunderbolts is like prime Clay Thompson, where it's like
Yeah.
specialist in what it is, what he does, fantastic, but it doesn't stretch beyond what it needs to be, which is
It
fine.
knows its limits. It knows its limits of a movie.
Yeah, like we spend so much of the film trying to get out of something, but we get to marinate in those moments and get to, really chill with the people, get their dynamics right. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this film. Just to rate it before we go into spoilers, I'll give it like a solid like 9 out of 10. Really solid
I
stuff.
get I gave it a 8.5. It was a great film, and I would give it a 10 out of 10. It's just um there's not really much flaw to it. It's a 8.5. I don't want to take away much or anything. It's just I wish I got to see the characters a little bit more.
Hmm.
I wanted this movie to go on forever. I think that's the only takeaway. That's why I
Yeah,
don't give it a 10 out of 10. I just didn't want the movie to end. I thought it was just great overall.
yeah, go watch it.
It never got tired. Yeah.
Go watch it. So, spoiler. We're going full into it. I'd say there is a lot there is a good amount to spoil, just because of the nature of Marvel, but also, it is such a good experience. So what I was talking about before, we spent a lot of time escaping this trap which by the way, I love that this movie, it flows seamlessly into the next scene. Like it all happens within the span of like what, a day, 2 days,
Hmm.
even.
Maybe
Um,
like a day and a half because they
yeah.
went there like it could be a day and a half because what they got there super early. Looks like it. Yelena got
Hmm.
there like super early in the morning. Went into the bunker. They were probably there fighting for like a good hour, maybe
Yeah.
longer. They were
And then
all
they drive
night.
back,
Hmm.
and fight Sentry, which, you know what? Hold on. Let's start there. All that being said, I remember when the news came out of who the Thunderbolts were going to be. It was like, oh, are we really
Yeah,
getting like super? It's like some assassins, one super soldier, and then a god, Superman, but even more powerful, right? And yeah, they really like make note of it. I don't think it was I think they acknowledged it and I think they made good use of it. And it was never a point where I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like this, I was never like not buying the team. But I think where it thrives to me is just the dynamics between everybody. I think they did a great
yeah.
job in this particular movie, there is like an archetype of MCU villain or characters. This you know utilizes the humor of it, but I think what I found interesting, the most interesting, was how it uses, conversations about depression, grief,
Hmm.
loss, mourning, that I think really grounded the film and made me like feel like was genuinely emotionally moving to me. What do you think about just I mean, yeah, just go ahead. Where would you like to talk about this film? Where would you like to take us?
Um, Characters are great. Like you said, it felt the best part about that movie was just watching the characters interact with each other. Watching them fight, how Valentina put each character against this person and this person. It was kind of smart to see how they which target was which. Like of course, Yelena can't take down Ghost. That was such a hard task for her to finish. Valentina knew she probably couldn't finish the job. You look at John Walker taking down Yelena. John Walker is very army experienced, very Purple Heart. He's very military guy, but
Mm.
he's never met Yelena with all as much experience like she has. You know what I mean? Red Russian. She went to the room. You know what I mean? She did all these things, and I think John Walker could have been able to. That was supposed to be his end. You look at Taskmaster. That was supposed to be killing. I believe was it John Walker?
Yeah, I
I
believe so.
believe
Yeah.
Taskmaster was the only one that I knew that probably could take everybody down that room, but she wasn't mentally prepared. She wasn't mentally there. You know what I mean? She has so many quirks that kind of make her a disadvantage to John Walker.
Well,
And
Ghost,
John's
actually, sorry,
little
Ghost was going to kill Taskmaster, so I think Walker was killing
Yelena,
Yelena. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then it was Taskmaster to Walker. So I think Walker was more
Um,
complete set to take out. And this is where I'm looking at the film. I could be wrong, but I like looking at how each character was the exact opposite of their fighting style,
that was sick.
and it was great to see. I mean, of course, we lose Taskmaster in the beginning, which I think it was for all the fans. Like we said, we had a problem with Taskmaster and Black Widow. Um, but I will reading all these reports, she had a big role. I would have loved to see that. She was on the posters. I wanted her to be more in the more of the movie than what we got.
Hmm.
I wanted to see her interaction with the team. I wanted to see how she would handle situations and be with them. And it would have been cool to see Yelena and her reconnect during the time of Black Widow, because Yelena was like that sister, like, hey, don't talk to her like that. She's been through the same thing I've been through. We're not doing that. Um, Valentina is a great villain. That's another villain that plays mind games and can play political power over these guys, because these guys are criminals. These guys are not the greatest people in the world. They're mercenaries. They kill. So Valentina has that over them. Like, yeah, no, 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 no. We're gonna do it my way. You're gonna do what I want, because you guys are pretty much shitty people, and that's what she makes the whole movie about, is them being shitty people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, especially on a month like this, too, getting into that, which you said earlier about men's mental health, it's a big thing to have, especially on this month, especially with a character like Bob or Century having the void in his head, which is something very, impactful for a lot of guys that don't talk about their mental health. So if
Hmm.
you need help, let us call, text, talk to somebody. It's great to put that
Yeah.
out there.
And also, as LA Knight says, it's okay to cry. It doesn't make you any less of a
Okay with that.
man. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that was such a great way to, have these Thunderbolts face a godlike being and make it a even playing field for them. Like I said in the group chat, Sentry is such a crazy, big, strong villain that could probably take out Doom and Superman and all these other big characters that shit. He could probably give Mark Grayson a run for his money.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, Invincible gets his ass beat all the time, so I
Hmm.
I wouldn't expect Sentry to beat his ass. But with that character being so powerful, like you saw in one of the scenes, like they couldn't land a hit on him, no matter. And they gave Bucky this big old send off. He took his jacket off and he got his ass whooped. I was like, yeah, no one's beating this guy. He's too strong. But for having that void character and going into Bob's mind and seeing his thoughts, it was such an even playing field for these characters to actually take him down. Like, we all knew there had to be some other way to take him down. and it wasn't going to be physical. It wasn't because they all teamed up and threw a rock at him and speared him in the heart. No,
No.
I think that makes more of a grounded movie for a lot of the MCU projects that they didn't have. These characters feel relatable. With Yelena saying that she feels alone. She always feels alone. She never
Mm.
has nobody, which a lot of people feel after they lose somebody, especially someone close as a sister or a brother. Um, it's a very scary feeling. So understand that, and you know, Bucky going through his past, John Walker not being a great dad. I mean, all the remarks they made throughout the whole movie about him.
Yeah.
It's a very relatable question. I think it made me tear up a couple times too.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's a great. I would love to talk about that a little bit. Is like what lines most affected you, if you can recall them. Like for me, what one
Uh,
line that I recall very specifically hitting me, moving me, making me tear up for sure was when Bob was talking about, yeah, I just feel like everyone when he's going on about like everyone's better without me. Like everyone,
oh yeah.
yeah, like I just make things worse. Like I don't need to be here. That whole thing. And he's talking about also some days I'm me. Some days I'm this kid, I'm this guy that is, I'm Bob, like I'm just normal Bob who seems like a kind guy, and you just kind of walk past in a day-to-day setting. Some days I'm that guy, and it's the void, and I just feel like I destroy everything around me, and I'm just nothing, I'm just this being of darkness, right? And as someone who's definitely faced my own fair share of depression. I've made that known. If you guys have been, you checked out any of my poems, you guys know I've been open about that. And to see a movie be so open about it, and also I love what the film has to say about it, is that Century in particular is still fighting it. Like he even says, like I don't in the post credit scene of like I don't want to. I'm still going through my own thing. I don't want to be Century right now. I'm still
I
trying to
did the
figure things
dishes.
out. Yeah, like it's not.
He's like, I
It's
did the dishes. I tried.
sometimes that's enough. Sometimes just doing like cleaning the apartment sometimes just feels like I'm climbing a mountain. So yeah, like I just really enjoyed the conversation and how it's rooted in wanting people to feel less alone versus I mentioned this in the group chat as well, versus how something like the Joker tackles mental health, where it just feels like romanticizing it, being like,
Hmm.
look how mad we are and look how crazy we look. And then it offers and it like look how sick it is. Like this man needs help. But it doesn't show that really. It doesn't do a great job of showing that. So yeah, just the contrast I think to me is interesting. But yeah, is there anything else that stood out to you in terms of like things that moved
Um,
you?
the only one line that got me is when he's beating the crap out of the void, and Elena is the only person that goes like, "I got you." Like he gives him a hug, and they all give him a hug because you're like, I think growing up as, I mean, like I said, we all suffer through our own stuff. We all suffer through our depression and different feelings of not being enough for somebody, and you try your hardest, and you always keep saying, "Oh, I just messed it up, so who cares?" You know what I mean? I used to say, "Oh, why do you care?" You know what I mean? That was one of my biggest things in a lot of relationships. And I'm not trying to say Elena and Bob were like a relationship or anything like that, but just having that backbone and having that support from your friends to be like, "I got you, you're fine." I think that's what got me because we all went from a certain person and people to be like, "No, you're fine. Like we can see you on your dark days, and we still have your back." And then I guess that's like because I from working and learning, graduating high school or something, I learned that people will let you complain and you know vent no matter how long it takes because they love you and they want to hear you vent and talk about it because that's what love is. They got your back, and I think that's the best way to sugarcoat it. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, yep.
Mm,
That made me feel some type of way about the movie. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm next to my dad. I can't cry to my dad, but he'd be like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "It's okay to cry, but god damn it, that got me." It's like fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh man, that line as well. You brought it. You reminded me of it. Is when Yelena's dad, the Red Guardian, says to her. It was right after she says, "I'm so alone." He says something like, "You look at yourself and you see all the bad stuff. I look at you and see everything else. I see all the other
Hmm.
stuff too." And That shit got me right here, man. That got me
And
right
I
here.
and I think that's what the Thunderbolts was so special about this movie. It had heart. A lot of MCU movies are just trying to get a ultimate cash grab and a big pop. And let's go back to wrestling. A lot of the stories now don't have heart. Triple H is not putting the heart out in these wrestling matches just yet. And people want it right now, but you need to build. And I think Thunderbolts is the heart. They have it's the heart. That team is the heart. It's carrying the entire building because once that heart's out, then everything just crumbles. And it sounds really weird, but the Thunderbolts was that heart. It had that heart to bring people in to be like, I relate to that. I relate to not having my sister around.
Yeah.
I relate to Bob feeling like he has nobody. He makes everything worse. And then I relate to my friends coming, grabbing me, and telling me it's okay. We got you. Like Marvel movies don't have that anymore, and that was the downside of it because we couldn't relate to them. And Love and Thunder was just all laughs. It was so bad.
Yeah. No
Quantumania was
heart.
about about I guess that best heart. I mean, was Scott and Cassie trying to reconnect, but like even then, it was very short lived. Like it's just setting up a story, which we don't want the story just yet. We want to relate to these characters, and that's all great works of fiction and art is relating to characters.
Yeah.
And I think Thunderbolts had that the most, and I think that's what that film does so great. And that's why everyone keeps talking about it.
Exactly. And just thinking about the three films that we pointed out specifically as Grand Slam home runs from Phase 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that heart came from animals and animal rights and, that whole
Mm-hmm.
conversation. Also, just this family we've come to know so well. Black Panther 2, the heart of just mourning and grieving. And then Spider-Man, the heart of just like maturing and growing up and realizing, like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
when you cross a threshold, and it's different for everyone, it's a different age for everybody, where you just start to realize, like, damn, the world is pretty harsh and pretty brutal, and you just got to figure it out. And you know, you said that's where you need your mentors, your guidance, your support system to just remind you, like, again, similar to Thunderbolts, you're not alone in the pain, even though it's a unique to you. But also you can share that pain in other people. I find,
People will understand,
yeah.
and I also too. What did I say? The art that you create should reflect you. And I think that's what music and movies, what your favorite movie says about you. It should reflect what you like and how you are as a person. Like, I love Almost Famous. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's about a boy that wants to write about rock and roll music, but wants to be the perfect guy for a perfect girl that he can never have.
Mm,
That's exactly how my life has always been. That's how I've always described it as. I want to be this eccentric writer. I want to be this cool person that's into this and that. And then he falls in love, and you're like, holy crap! Like, was this the right decision? Like, you see how you're getting treated. You're like, damn, I'm acting like that. Like, that's how I would act in certain situations, and it should reflect your personality as a person.
yeah.
Like, I think Ray's favorite movie is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and we all know Ray, and not to speak on Ray, but that's a perfect movie to describe him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Back to the Future, I don't know exactly what that says about me, but just in you saying that, I thought about how one of my favorite films is La La Land.
That's
And
a good one.
I love just the message of that movie is that sometimes people are in your lives for a chapter, and it's the most beautiful chapter ever. It feels great. It feels like the peak story of your life. But then there comes a time where you've done enough for that person and they've done enough for you. They've to send you on your way, and you guys have to just go your separate ways. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a story that has sat with me in multiple different ways, whether it's relationships or friendships or different things. So yeah, no, absolutely. I think that is such a amazing thing to bring up is art. Art is a beautiful
Imitates
thing.
life, or imitates life.
Yeah, right.
Simple.
It's simple as that, man. And so um, yeah, coming back to Thunderbolts, and I love, and see, this is why, me personally, I think you'll agree with me on this. Comic book medium, comic book media, whether it be the actual pages, whether it be movies, adaptations, anything, to me, it's the most beautiful thing. It's the most powerful vehicle to me of exploring, you know, morality, human nature, ourselves. mental health, all this stuff, because it is so fantastical and because you can use such metaphors like Sentry being the void or, shame rooms. That's a beautiful metaphor right there. To explore these things in ways that you couldn't normally do. And, comic book media to me, Daredevil, he just like the just triumph, the adversity and how he faces it and the strength of the human spirit. Like stories like that to me are why I will always stand on comic book. This shouldn't be a hot take, by the way. Comic books, comic book movies at their best, at their least commercialized are our art, truly our art,
Mhm.
and I'm just very grateful that Thunderbolts was able to bring us back to that a little bit with
It
and
was a it was a good fresh it was a good deep fresh breath of air that we got from Thunderbolts. It was like you know how you've been sick and you have all your sinuses are all congested and you finally breathe and
yeah.
it's gone for that good like while and you're like that's what Thunderbolts felt like for me. It felt like a
Mm,
nice fresh breath of air. You're like, great. Or like a nice cold water at the end of the night when you wake up from that deep sleep of just sweating and you're like,
yeah.
oh, my mouth is dry. I need water. I need water. And you see that water bottle just right there.
Yeah, to quote Stuart Scott, it's as cool as the other side of the pillow.
It's on the pillow. Damn right. Damn
Um,
right.
hey man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the
Parapod, hold up.
what I want to say. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me see. Let me put this up a little bit. Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Um, Transitioning into the post-credit scene. Well, scenes. There's one really funny scene of just, they set up, oh, you want to be on the Wheaties boxes, and they show Red Guardian, which by the way, David Harbour, I don't think we really dove into it, but fantastic performances from everybody. It was very much an ensemble cast. Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, everybody. Shout out to the assistant who I don't remember her name, but you are now officially the love of my life. Um, the uh, Valentina de Fontaine, I'm sure, is yours. There's one
Batty.
scene
It's a batty.
I told you about the one scene that had me thinking about you in particular, where she's like, "Do I look nurturing enough for?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And this is
It was true though. It was very true. I was like, oh, there it is. There it is.
and so, yeah. So performances were great. David Harbour in particular, I think you know, I don't want to say stole because that sounds like no one else contributed, but was just such a force in every single scene he did. But yeah, post-credit scene was cool. But then we get into the second post-credit scene where we fast forward 14 months later. The credits is like really cool. It's like news clippings and different articles portraying the new Avengers, which is revealed to be the name. We cut 14 months later and catch up with the team. Bucky's got a new do looking fresh to death.
You had that Ephraim haircut.
That he, which who you you Ephraim?
Yeah, my haircut. My hair goes all long like that.
Oh
It looks
yeah,
exactly like that.
we're gonna have to see that. We're gonna have to see
Yeah,
that one
that's
day.
gonna be like a year worth of progress right there and maintain. Like it was a while to get that hair a long time ago.
But it's really good to see Bucky just like have okay, this is what he looks like when he's got his life together,
He
Beautiful,
looked healthy, happy. He looked like Bucky. Like I was like,
thriving
cool.
man. Yeah, man, and David Harbour. I just call him David Harbour. I forget his character's name. Comes out with the racetrack suit, and he's like, "Yeah, guys, check this out. We're facing there. Oh, that was what it was. They're
The
facing a
copyright.
lawsuit
Yeah.
because of the Avengers, and they're like, you can't be the new Avengers. And he says, "Oh, how about Avengers with a Z?" I'm like, that's just a great bit. That's just only a hit right there.
I think
Um,
his name was Alexi.
Alexi, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, and then you get into they just start talking about they start setting up this conflict between the new Avengers and the Avengers, which is going to be fascinating going
Yeah.
into Doomsday. But we get even more of a lead up to that because they talk about some extra universal thing, language where you're like, ah, shit, we're about to get something crazy. And sure enough, they cut to it. They show a ship flying down. It turns over just right, and we see the number four on it. Um, sick, sick, sick. Um, got a big old pop
Hmm.
from my theater, as it sounds like you as well. Apparently, this is a scene from Doomsday.
Well, I don't know. I saw an interview with the director, and he was saying that it wasn't. He said people were kind of reacting from it. He's like, it wasn't from Doomsday. It's from the set of Doomsday.
Oh, got you. Got
So
you.
that's what he was saying, and I was like, huh, interesting. Which I assume that that's what everyone meant at the beginning. So I was like, oh, okay, it's on the set of Doomsday. But then I started hearing people say, no, it's from Doomsday. I was like, no, I think it's on the set. But we'll see when the movie starts. So we
Yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah, with a movie like that though, it would be it's kind of tough to spend any time with footage that we've already seen because there's
Yeah,
so
so
much that movie has to accomplish in terms of setting up everybody's character arc and progressing them. So I would prefer to just be like, yeah, that's the scene from New Avengers. And
I
from
mean, even then, that scene was cool. But I have
yeah, it was great.
I have an idea, but my friend shot it down. But I still think it's a very good idea and a very good twist on the end credit because everyone thinks it's the Fantastic Four, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if it was Doctor Doom in that ship? Because how would he get to this Earth? People are like, oh, he can use his like his powers and his time whatever warp. I was like, well, we don't know what type of Doom we're getting, so you never know. Their planet might be getting in. I mean, most logical answer is the Fantastic Four. After the movie, I think we all know Galactus might eat the world, and they might have to leave. You know what I mean? That's too much of a big threat for them to handle,
Hmm.
especially alone. But I think, that Doom being on that spaceship will be a good twist on, that movie itself. Because you're like, the Thunderbolts are like, oh, yeah, 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 we got help. Yeah, yeah. And it's Doom stepping out of that spaceship. You're like, isn't that Iron Man? Like, I can see them all like, isn't that Iron Man right there? And it's like,
Yeah.
what? And Doom having
Tony.
them on the leash and having them as his Avengers.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
they're in the movie.
you're saying that the new Avengers potentially would be like kind of blind loyalty, just being like, "Oh, hey, Tony, like what's up? Like you wanna," they would kind of get pitted up against what I would imagine to be, we've set up Avengers versus X-Men potentially. Maybe that's
Hmm.
like the two opposing forces. Interesting. Interesting. This is
And
some like
then you can
some
have Sam Wilson probably come in later because he's probably figuring out how to stop this mess and who's this person, and he can actually team up with the real Fantastic Four, and he can build his own Avengers and then kind of stop the Civil War, explain what's going on. I mean, the possibility that could be wrong. You never know, but
fantasy booking, baby. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I know people look down on it, but I love, before I knew it was called fantasy booking, I love fantasy booking MCU movies for sure. So no, that is an exciting proposition. That would be a sick swerve in terms of like, yeah, like what is, where they haven't shown anything about it, but you would be, you'd have to assume that they would show Doom in some capacity in the Fantastic Four movie, whether it be a post-credit scene, whether he's a character in the movie.
I
He
I don't know what we're getting with Doom, and I'm scared to. Like I said, I'm gonna be a fan. How do you say it? Triple H says it. I'm just gonna be a fan.
don't be a critic, just be a fan. Be a fan,
And
Ephraim.
with
Be a
that,
fan.
that's what I'm trying. I'm trying my best to be a fan with just that because I don't know what they're gonna do with Doom. I want them to be. Um, I don't know if they're gonna make him a Fantastic Four villain. I don't know if they're gonna make him an otherworld villain. Like he saw Tony's face on, this Earth and was like, I like that face. I'm gonna steal that face so I can get entwined with these group of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you never know unless he's on that Earth and he's so like he used to be Iron Man in this previous in that lifetime, but the Fantastic Four took over and became the hero, took all the credit, it made him cranky, made him,
like mad, jealous, and envy of the Fantastic Four. So maybe that's why it turns to Doom. You never know the storyline they're gonna go with just Doctor Doom.
Yeah, yeah. And also where he might go because people have brought the theory, and I used to not like it, but I've kind of dug it the more I think about it is what if this isn't even the final Doom we're gonna get? What if he's kind of the setup Doom and the real, quote unquote, the real Doctor Doom comes in, kills him off, and we get the real. So, I think people who are obviously there are people who are cynical about Robert Downey Jr. being Doom just because whatever they call it, like a cheap cash grab, right? Whatever, all this
Yeah,
stuff. But also, I feel like maybe there are people that have a sour taste in it just because they don't know what they're gonna get. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I find that exciting. I find that exciting
Don't
not
don't be a
knowing.
critic.
Yeah, don't be a cra- I think that's become the tagline for this podcast, for the KNC podcast, is just be a fan, just go be along for the ride. You have your opinions, like what you like, don't like what you don't like, but try to try to just like don't be anything more than a fan. At the end of the day, people created this and we gotta play our role of being the audience.
Yeah, what does
Um
Joel Embiid say on the Sixers? Just trust the process.
Just trust the process. Though, wrong messenger. I think just in general with the Sixers, they're just doubly fucked all the way around. But
Yeah,
the notion as a whole, yeah, I'm totally
just
with
trust
you.
process. Just we said it, not Joel Embiid. Okay.
Not Joel Embiid. Yeah, we made up that quote. Trust the process. So yeah, that is, I think, I like that deep dive of Thunderbolts because it's not. I feel like it's a different conversation than I think a lot of people would have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we transition to the next topic?
no, just if you ever have a bad day and you feel like your health and no one there to talk to you, just it's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out. Talk to a friend. Call this hotlines. Talk to anybody that listens. We're here for y'all. We'd love to hear y'all comments and the ones that did comment. We appreciate y'all and we hope y'all your mental stays strong. And if they ever waver, people have your backs. Just rely on them. Fall back on them.
Yeah,
Let them be your Thunderbolts. Let them be your team.
beautiful.
That's it.
Could not have said it any better myself. That is Thunderbolts. Again, let us know what you thought. But Ephraim, Mr. Cougar Connoisseur, there's a question that has been taking over,
Oh my God.
sweeping the world, and we've brought it among ourselves. We took the responsibility of figuring out how we're gonna kill this goddamn gorilla because apparently it's a threat to us, and we
Ah,
gotta figure out how we're gonna tackle him. So we're gonna do just that. We're gonna do an in-depth deep dive, as you'd expect. And to start us off, because there are so many different ways people have debated this without even like we have to think it's possible in order to try to do this. And to make it possible, we need a strategy, and I have some that I can propose. I wanted to propose to you because I think the way to do this, right, is we gotta beat this
oh my
gorilla.
God.
This is like the what is it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he flips the
No,
wall
look,
and he's like, "Look, let's talk about the mail. Let's talk about the mail." This is what I spent the last 15. You'll see what I spent the last 20 minutes of my shift earlier today doing. But look,
your boss is like he's fired.
yeah. No, my coworker, my supervisor came up. She like just like glanced at my computer and she's like, "Oh, y'all are gonna you're the gorilla thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're trying to figure out the gorilla. Yeah, I'll show you. It'll all make sense." But look, in order to beat this gorilla, right, we're gonna need a strategy, and I've outlined a strategy. I would love to know what you think, but I think it's something that we can agree on. Is people have talked about, oh, let's just all gang up on the gorilla, 100 people, but think about it. There's only so much space you're gonna have. You're gonna be maybe like 10 people around them at the same time. What are the other 90 people doing? They're just standing around. They're doing their thing. So I think we gotta attack them in waves, right? We gotta attack them in waves. We gotta do. So the first wave I have here called sports entertainment.
Oh
Because
my
let's
God.
let's be honest, these 10 people, these group of people, they're not doing shit. They're not doing shit. So as my good friend here, Mr. CC, brought up, this is where we kind of just like get the ratings up, bump the ratings, get a
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
punch. So that I've took some time to just like figure out some of the names.
Ezekiel Elliott's on here.
Yeah. You got iBeast from Twitter. I don't know if you've seen his stuff, but he's just like the ultimate Roman Glazer to the point where it annoys me. So he's just getting thrown in there. But yeah, we got the president, Andrew Tate, Elon Musk. Did this was a Ephraim original was
Oh
getting
yeah.
if you wanted
Yeah.
to tell the people what you wanted from
Okay, look, listen to my idea. Listen to my idea. Right now, we're on the hate Diddy train, right? Diddy
yes.
deserves everything that's getting thrown at him. He wants to have Diddy parties and have LeBron James. Yeah, LeBron James is at them. Don't at me. He was there at the party. Um, so why not let the gorilla Diddy? I said what I said. Give the gorilla some oil and give him directions on what to do, and Diddy's gone. We want that's the best way to prosecute Diddy.
So you're telling me it goes electric chair, lethal injection, death by gorilla. Those are like the
Death
three
by
options you
gorilla.
get. Or
Yep.
electric chair. I don't know if that's illegal now. But yeah, death by gorilla. Okay. See, the way you had phrased it, the way you phrased it originally in the chat was made it seem like Diddy was gonna do Diddy things to the gorilla. And I'm
I
like,
forgot for the gorilla.
I don't know I don't know what Ephraim is into, but I don't know what he meant, but what he thought I meant by sports entertainment.
Not what I
But here
meant,
we
guys.
are.
It's not at all what I meant.
So yeah, yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. And yes, as you can see here, this is the lineup. By the way, this is like Royal Rumble rules. They come in maybe not one by one, but in these waves, in these groups, and yeah. So the all the boys are coming through. Although Jimmy Kimmel, I don't like him. I just find him aggressively unfunny. So that's why I threw
Really?
him
I
in
like
there.
Jimmy Kimmel. I
Yeah,
don't mind him.
like Jimmy Fallon to me, like he's just a guy. Like you kind of he's like unfunny, but he's just likable. So whatever, fake laughs.
Now, if you throw Conan on here, we would have a problem. I would have fought for Conan.
Conan is my guy. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Conan is the one of the funniest TV hosts ever. So yeah, these are just guys that I'm like willing to throw. Do you have any additions you
Go
wanted
home
to throw
alone.
in?
Josh Giddey.
Hmm.
Josh Primo too, by the way.
And Primo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spurs fans and bigger fans know who that is. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Oh, Zaza. Yeah, Zaza Pachulia.
Funny enough,
Sorry, I know you're a Warriors fan.
I know Zaza Pachulia. We had him, that Cameo thing on Cameo. We had
Hmm.
Zaza do a recording for my dad's birthday. So this is, hate to do it to you, Zaza. Thank you for the recording the video message for my dad, but unfortunately, you're
I'm a
getting
Spurs fan, man. I don't forgive you for Kawhi, brother. You
maybe
said it wasn't
maybe
intentional.
maybe the gorilla will accidentally will land on Zaza's foot and do a little
And no,
because.
you know what? Put Kawhi on there for leaving us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Kawhi
That's
is
that,
on there.
that's for Ray, because Ray probably will agree with me on that.
Which Ray is here in spirit. He did give a couple suggestions. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, we don't have everyone filled out, but that's where we let the fans decide and we'll let them sprinkle in their discussions. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to this list next week and Ray will have a couple other suggestions. But this is these are the sacrificial lambs. As you can see, hold on, coming back to
Donald
we
Trump's a great one, by the way. Donald
yeah,
Trump's a
no,
great one, by the way.
and he's the first one too because he probably does have an ego the size of an ego to be like, no, I got him.
I can take him.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah.
okay. I'm the president. Whatever the way he talks. Fuck that guy.
Tell the other 99 men that they can go home. I got the gorilla. So as you
I'm
can,
intrigued to see the scrappers, though. That's what I'm intrigued to see.
yes. So going into the game plan here. So again, we're setting the table. Gorilla, 6 foot, 500 pounds, can lift rip a tree out of the ground. We're doing this in waves, okay? We gotta
A
and so
gorilla
we
six
gotta
foot.
the tallest of a gorilla. The like it ranges. That's like the highest spectrum, and I just
Like
think
that's a
that
tall gorilla.
I know, right? Yeah, you'd think it would be like 8 foot or something, but whatever. Um, Sports entertainment. We're just popping a number. The opening match is always going. You gotta catch the eye. That's what we're
We
doing with
want
this
them.
one.
We want them to how Hulk treated Loki in the MCU.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
what sacrificial lambs is. We want to see them get thrown around. Now, Diddy is another question. We want to get torn apart and limb by limb and the other way, if you know what I mean.
But also, I don't know if you saw, if you caught, we got the true American Hulk Hogan. So somewhere he was somewhere in there. So
Oh yeah, I think
I
I
just
saw that.
love the
Yeah,
idea of Hulk Hogan running down, hitting and then just getting absolutely like ripped to shreds. Which, by the way, we're just gonna highlight this part here. People will die. That is just
no,
a
they will.
given. That's a given. That's actually kind of a requirement for some of these people that we've mentioned
They
before.
they they knew what they signed up for.
They knew, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, some of them didn't sign up. They just got drafted. They just teleported and ended up in this Royal Rumble situation. And we're like,
They're
all
like, what the hell?
right. So yes, that is important. People will die, and some of these we're rooting for, something we're rooting against. And as we get into the scrappers, you'll see there are some people that we're hoping don't go the way that we think they are. So you mentioned the scrappers. Their goal, there it is. We got to weaken the gorilla. All right. We got to try to just, at this point, we're just trying to beat something out of him. I read gorillas, they have fast twitch muscles. So, they super powerful. They can move real suddenly and real rapidly. But that also means that their endurance, not so much. That's more the slow twitch fibers. So we're trying to wear him down. And that's when we bring in some of the big boys. Let me know what you think about these boys right here. Starting off, we got the Beast Incarnate. We got Batista, Andre the
The Andre the
Giant.
Giant one, that's the best one. I was thinking about him too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very classic right there. We got
And it's
1999
race
Shaq.
pick. I don't agree with it anymore.
Are you feeding Ray to the gorilla?
Yeah, that was one of my options. You know, put Ray in there since he's not here.
You're putting him in are you putting him in the
Ray
last
Carter.
sports?
He's like, what the fuck? I disappeared for a week and I'm on there, gorilla. You were drafted number 20.
Yeah, you know what? Next week, okay, I hope to God that he's not watching at this point, but because he's gonna come back and see, yeah, he's gonna see a little surprise. But anyways, this is Isaiah Stewart. We gotta have Isaiah Stewart in there.
That was a
We
good
got a
one.
couple other people there that are more there for the mental game, the mental warfare against this gorilla. But yeah, we got some names. We got some UFC fighters in here. I don't know how
Ooh,
in you are. You're
you
if
should
you're
have.
into.
Yeah. What's a good one too? You put Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace. You should put
Oh, Rashid.
Bronson Reed.
Oh, I was trying to think of more WWE guys, and I have a good amount of them towards the end, but Brunson Reed. Bronson Reed is a good one. Yo, I'm just picturing him just, I don't know, like Derek Lewis, Vernon Davis, Larry Allen, just Obafemi, all of them like holding down the gorilla as
I know.
Bronson Reed gets up on the ring post and just hits him with like five tsunamis.
Who else? Who's a good one too that I'm thinking of right now? Um, what about Big Baby Davis?
Oh, okay. Some of these we know that they're sacrificial lambs. So Big
Some of
Baby
them,
Davis can go. Big Baby Davis can go.
Bobby Lashley should be on there.
No, you're right. Well, should he? I feel like he can go into another category. But
Yeah, that's what I was
so
thinking too. Maybe not that one.
this is the early rounds. So yeah, we'll leave a couple slots open just in case we think of anyone. So that's the scrappers, right? And so at this point, we're just trying to wear him down. We're trying to tire him out, blow his lungs up, and that's when we get into
If Diddy didn't do it first, by the way, if Diddy gets to blow up his lungs first,
but in a different way.
in a different way. Yeah,
So we got the next class here, right? The disorienters.
yeah.
Scramble. We're scrambling the gorillas. We're trying to create confusion. Trying to create confusion. So that's why we're gonna get into some of the names here. The disorienters. We got Usain Bolt in here. Noah Lyles. We're talking about the fastest man in the world. We got some cornerbacks, the Legion of Boom in
That's a
here.
great
Just,
one. Yeah. Oh, it's
we're
a
not
race pick, right? Yeah.
those
Never
are
mind.
Ray picks, yeah, because we're trying to deal damage. And this is what I'm talking about right here. This is key. This stretch right here. Oh shit. Hold
Oh
on, I'm
yeah,
just gonna.
Dennis, Dylan, Draymond. That's a great one.
These are very important. Oh, Draymond, he's not physically outstanding. Dylan Brooks, whatever. Dennis Rodman, he is an
You
athletic specimen, but for
you
sure. But
know, Patrick Beverly should be up in there.
you're right.
Pat Bev.
Patrick Beverly. If we're really trying to shake him, we're getting Pat Beverly.
That's
And
the
also,
man.
if he goes, he goes. It is what it is. But this stretch right here, we are trying to take away any advantage. We're trying to just confuse the gorilla, trying to fuck him up mentally as well as physically. That's where you get like, the George St. Pierre, LeBron.
I love.
uh,
Why is LeBron on there?
because I may not be the biggest LeBron fan, but also I think he's fast enough to disorient, maybe get a couple hits in. Strong dude, so he'll truck the gorilla, then hit his little like flex move, and from that point on, if he dies, then he dies.
He does. He does. Okay, so for entertainment, put Chef Curry on there too. Nah, you're like,
I
I can't
can't.
do that to my boy.
I can't, especially not on the hammy that he's got on right now. I can't do that to him. No injured men in this process here. So yeah, so some disorienters, right? And now this is interesting. This right here is where we get to the meat of it, and I think this is where Bobby Lashley can go, right? Because on the fourth step here, you got your light heavies. We're trying to beat the shit out of this gorilla, okay? He's a strong dude. We're trying to get him. We're dealing as much damage. We're trying to overwhelm him because as you can see here, we get to the finishers. And the finishers, we're kind of just going for style points here,
I was
as
like,
you'll see.
the light heavy is also like the jumping part of the thing where the gorilla has had enough and we're just jumping him at this point, and then the finishers are the ones that are actually going to kill the gorilla.
Yeah. Because you'll see here. Here, I'm gonna pull up this stat that I found really interesting. I was doing some research. Like I said, I spent 20
Jesus,
minutes at work doing this. This,
that's wild.
so found this on Quora, right? If you'll read here, um, what is an ape's weakness? It says some stuff here, and it says apes are unable to. Modern apes don't have the ability to take a spear,
So a
but
wrestling spear or like a spear?
look, I think they left it up to interpretation.
I don't think
So
that. No,
how
no,
I'm
no.
interpreting it is this motherfucker is about to get ooh ah, because you'll see here.
I
Let me
like
pull
how
it up,
that wrestling fans think of. You meant that spear? No, I
and it
meant the
said
spear.
can't take a spear or rock. So all of a sudden you hear if you smell.
Oh my god.
The final boss is probably coming in at the last second to claim like, wow, the hierarchy has changed, the power between gorilla and so here I have some names here. We go into the light heavies and the finishers. We'll just show them all at once. Cause yeah, we got some names, man. I'm curious to know what you think about the names
The
I've
Yon the Antetokounmpo brothers is actually a good one. Steven
because
Adams is a good one.
you can't have
Mhm.
Giannis without the Nasus.
He
The last couple of years have
he
just proven that.
he brings the energy.
That's all he
You know,
brings
you know,
is the
you,
energy.
you know, he needs to put in for style points. You need to put in Jeff Teague because Jeff Teague is just there to get the A plus credit.
He's there to pot about it later and be like, "Yeah, guys, like I kind of was just there." That's that. I love his approach to podcasting. Is like, "Yeah, I got cooked."
He's like, I got fucking thrown off the team. I got left at the arena. No one fucking forgot about me.
His storyline, his recounting of the Jimmy Butler Timberwolves practice, where Jimmy just completely destroyed the first team, is hilarious. So, yeah,
I don't know. One of my favorites is when he's talking about PJ Tucker and Lance Stevenson to that layup. He's like, we just had Ciroc together.
yeah.
He's like,
Ah,
move.
he's good. So yeah, we got Jeff Teague towards the end here, but as you can see here, we got Scott Steiner,
Good one.
Khabib.
Could
We're
be.
getting some of the linemen on here.
What about
Miles
Connor?
Garrett. I put Connor towards
You
the
got it right
beginning.
there. Okay, yeah, I
I
did
put
see
Connor
him.
towards the beginning because he's kind of falling off. But if you're talking about prime Conor McGregor, since we're taking people from different timelines, I would put him on the light heavies.
We
Hit him
need
with that.
we also need someone done that and John Cena.
I have 2011 John Cena as the finishers because I was saying it was at 2009 or 11. It was in that era, right?
I think he was 10 when John Cena made that announcement.
Because we're talking because obviously we're referencing we have compromised to a permanent end Osama bin
Osama
Laden.
bin
So
Laden.
he's gonna come out and say we have compromised to a permanent end this one gorilla that we're for some reason slated to kill. Um,
We need
I'm
Roman
with
Reigns on
that.
there.
Roman Reigns is on here because like I said, man,
Oh yeah, okay.
gorilla can't take a spear, so he's getting ooh
Ooh, okay, okay. I'm about to pull. I'm about to pull. I need the Nexus,
Okay, okay, I like that. Where are you putting them with the finishers?
the
Putting them with
finishers,
the
because
light heavies?
the 2010 Nexus were crazy. It took out everybody in that arena.
I like that. I like that. Also, hold on. We're putting Bobby Lashley on there.
Oh yeah, Mister. Well, why don't we just put the Hurt Business?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I think that would take us to 100 people for sure between the 2010 Nexus and yeah. Sick.
I don't know Faxium's on there.
Huh?
Faxium.
Yeah, Fraxium's on. This was a Ray classic. This was a
Uh,
Ray suggestion.
that's why. Let's get it off and put Ray. Let's put Shio as the finisher.
Put
Jessica
me?
as the finisher. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because you may be wondering what these last three slots
Oh,
were.
was that us three?
Let me see if I can figure out how to take this off. We are the last three people in that lineup. We come in and we just kind of show up, we I don't know.
Make sure the job is cleaned up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll like get on the top rope, hit a little elbow drop. You can hit your finisher and Ray will hit the 619 on him. I don't know.
Ray might be fucked up a little bit from the
Yeah,
original.
yeah. No, you know what? Ray pulled the thing that everyone says to do in the Royal Rumble where you just show up and go underneath the bottom rope.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
just
not
kind of
that
showed
good.
up and took a nap. He took a nap and showed out towards the end. So
Look, we have no hate towards Ray, but it's just he's not here. It's our turn to joke on him since he's not here.
he doesn't get a chance to defend himself,
He'll
so
come
we
back
get to
next
say whatever we
episode.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll come back next episode on
Yeah, we
us.
love
So
you, Ray. Well, I love you, Ray. I don't know if Mr. CC does.
hey, look,
Um,
he was a nicer champ when he won the belt. So the champ has to be you know uh, uh what's that word? He has to be hard on his
vacated.
no, that's not the word.
Yeah, we'll follow up with Ray what his thoughts are on having to show up right after Kawhi Leonard in this Royal Rumble of the Gorilla. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kayfabe and Chill versus the Gorilla. Let us know what you think. We had a whole strategy in place. Yeah, I'm gonna just take this is probably gonna be the screenshot. So go ahead and pose for me real quick. We're beating this gorilla. We love animals around here. Let's get that clear right now. We love animals, but since we understand the assignment, though, we're beating the shit out of this gorilla.
We're not gonna be Robert Irwin. No, we're trying to protect gorillas. We're gonna kill this gorilla. We're gonna kill this gorilla.
We're gonna protect you guys by killing this gorilla. So yeah, that's us versus the gorilla. Um, I think that's all the segments we had planned. You had remember as we kind of transition into Sharpshooter. What do you got for us?
Well, on this part, we do have a lot of questions from fans. Since
Mhm.
Ray would not be here, if y'all have been following our post on Instagram, I did post something where we let y'all be the third person of our group. Now we know that it's been mostly us two the whole episode, but we wanted to get save it for last for y'all. So I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. I'm gonna pop them off real quick right here. Give me
Let's
one
do it.
second. Let me see.
Yeah, and thank you to the people who put in and submitted some questions. We really appreciate
So I'm
y'all.
just gonna read them off since we can't really see them.
Okay.
So with the first question, let's see. We're gonna say that last question that this guy Chesco asked in the comments of one of it. So we'll wait for that. And that's a personal question for Mr. CC himself. But the first question here is, what is your dream match? So I'm
Hmm.
guessing from any company is what they're asking. From any company, from WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, AAA, whatever. What is our dream match?
Oh,
Cheska, would
are
you like to
we
start first?
are we also extending uh eras? Is that a thing,
We can
or
do
are we just
eras,
keeping
yeah. It was really
or
no. It looked like there was no really parameters on the question itself. So yeah, let's go crazy with it.
interesting? Okay. You know, it really I read about this the other day. It really surprises me that either we got only one or no matches between Shawn Michaels and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That is two ring masters, two people who understand the showmanship, two people who can seamlessly go from heel to face to whatever, whatever. Like they can do, like tell them to book anything and they can do it well, unless it's Travis Scott walking down the ring and hitting Shawn
But
Michaels.
you never know. Sean and Eddie could put on a great match with Travis Scott. They could wrestle the broomstick.
My favorite part of the Mania 41 of Travis coming in is when he tries to hit Cody and Cody stops it and he like looks to the side like, damn, man. Like, have you seen that clip?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what
yeah,
made me go, "Fuck, I hate this."
I'll give it to him. I did some that clip I do enjoy, but yeah, for me, probably Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero.
Good one.
But that is, I did want to broaden it out to all time because I honestly don't have any. If you could actually bring up like a modern one, I think that would be really interesting to hear, just because I'm curious.
Like
Or
of
yeah,
generations of like wrestlers now from each company.
yeah, if you or just if you have an answer for yeah, like wrestlers who are doing it today, but if you have a dream match, um,
I want to
yeah.
say one that I mean modern more. Um, I really want to see a good AEW versus WWE one. I would love to see Hangman Adam Page versus Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins and Hangman can put on a great match. I think those two guys can just work. They probably wrestled before, and we just don't know it. I've never seen that match. I think they've never crossed paths. I could be wrong. Um, Correct me if
Hmm.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry, but I think those two guys would have great ring chemistry, especially because Rollins can wrestle anybody. I would love to see Omega versus Roman. I think Kenny versus Roman will be such a money match. And I think both guys are pretty safe wrestlers. They know how to take care of each other.
Hmm.
And I think that just V trigger into like a Superman punch, into a spear, into like the one winged angel. Like I
Oh,
don't I a lot of people don't like Kenny Omega. I don't mind him. I think he's okay. I think those two guys will put on another good show. Um, what was the guy from New Japan? Oh, I can't pronounce his name ever, but he just left New Japan. But him versus Cena would be a great match too.
okay.
Forget his name. To Katie, something like that. I don't know. I could
Oh,
totally
Takeshita?
Takesha, yeah, versus
Yeah.
versus Cena. That would be a great match.
Uh-huh. Oh, just one that I thought of speaking of WWE versus AEW. My queen, my Lord and Savior, Io Sky versus Mercedes Moné.
Oh,
Um,
they never locked up before.
I don't
Huh?
think so.
That's
I
interesting.
just looked it up. I just wanted to double check and make sure, and I don't see anything popping up. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't
I'm
think so
sure you
either.
will,
Yeah.
but I
Uh,
don't recall them ever. Yeah. So,
Honestly, too, I would like to see Rhea. Um, I like to see Rhea versus what's her name? Oh, I'm trying to think of it. Um,
what, Tony
that
Storm?
no, they've wrestled before.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think. Fuck. I can't think of Rhea. There was a match that I thought about a long time ago. I was like, damn, she would have great chemistry with this person. Oh, I'm sorry. Duh, Jordan Grace.
Oh, okay. Well, hey man. It feels like they're setting up an Evolution pay-per-view with, I don't know, maybe potentially, in terms of having this whole setup between the NXT ladies versus the WWE ladies. So who knows?
We might
We
see
just
that,
might
yeah.
be getting that dream match soon. Just
Yeah, I'm like,
might.
damn. Yeah, but yeah, Tony and Rhea have great matches with each other. I would like to see timeless Tony Storm versus Rhea now because when they
Right.
first wrestled, I mean, there was different types. So I mean, seeing that match again would be probably so cool to see again.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing is like they're as they are, they probably what wrestled when Rhea still had the blonde hair.
Yeah, she was like pre blonde hair with the long hair. She didn't have her sides cut off or anything.
Yeah.
It was like NXT UK. Like those two. Like I mean, I was happy when they signed Tony Storm because I liked Tony Storm growing up. Watching her wrestle and then watching Rhea wrestle was cool. And then seeing them now as the two biggest stars of AEW and WWE, it's kind of like, damn, those were my
Yeah.
girls. Like I called those two being great.
That's
So I
so
was like,
sick.
okay, yeah, I was like, great, awesome.
Something we did discuss internally between the three of us was one of these days we want to do some sort of like retrospective, and Mr. CC here is gonna put
Hmm.
us on to some NXT UK stuff, and we'll check it out, talk about, just do like a nice little retrospective and just admire the match, see what they had cooking, and yeah, that'll be a cool little segment. But anyways, I think that's it for that question. What else you got? What else do the people have for
Yeah.
us?
No, we want to say thank you to everyone that commented on the ones that did. Now, one commented more than usual, and we appreciate that a lot. One of our biggest fans. She said, um, "What is Click's question?" Okay, compare your favorite wrestler to your favorite comic book hero.
Hmm.
That's a great question. That's a really great question.
I dig that. Do you have one in mind for that?
Um, One came to mind, and I don't want to like say it, but it's just a small sliver. It's one of my favorite, of course, heroes is Spider Man, and I think I'm not now. He's not my favorite wrestler of all time, so it's a little different than what the question's asking. But uh, I like Cody Rhodes because he reminds me of Spider Man at the moment.
Mm.
Cody is going through a lot of arcs, a lot of trials and tribulations of his character. And I think of that because that one pose he did when he was before he was teaming up with Brock Lesnar, that Raw after Mania 39, and Brock
Hmm.
destroys him. There's a pose that Cody does, and he does like a little Spider-Man pose. And ever since that day, I've always pictured Cody. I know people think of him Homelander, Captain America, and all that,
Right.
Superman, whatever. But that pose made me think of Cody a little more different, more of a Spider-Man arc than him going through everything he's going through,
Mm.
especially losing the big matches. Because Spider-Man loses those big fights to the big heroes that can outshine him. Iron Man was his hero, so he lost his hero on John Cena, like Cody was. Like, Cody lost his Uncle Ben, which is Dusty Rhodes. So something like that. But it's kind of hard to compare comic book characters with regular wrestlers. Like, I just picture them just looking like the wrestler, so it's hard for me to compare. So
I
Cody is
got
a
one for you. I got
what is
one
it?
for you. Actually, you bring that up was a good one. Because as of right now, I'm gonna be real with you. I really love, sorry, excuse me. I love what Seth Rollins is doing right now. He's probably,
Mhm.
if you ask me today, who is my favorite wrestler right now, who's doing the best stuff, I say Seth Rollins. And I would compare him to a Loki.
That was a
Uh,
good one. That's a
in
great one.
terms of very much rooted in being a heel, has this very manipulative vibe about him. Um, and then he turns face, and he has a really cool scene or bit stint where he helps Cody finish his story. He sacrifices himself uh, for the greater good, one
Are
may
we
say.
saying Roman is Thor though? Sorry.
Ooh, I don't want to say. I think of him as like just like Thanos or something, like this more
Hmm.
big villain, especially because yeah, that one's interesting. I think it's mainly because I think of because I in my WWE 2K24 universe where I have just like superheroes and villains, I put Thanos with Roman Reigns' entrance and all this stuff. So I just build that connection. But anyways, yeah. And then you fast forward to like this modern version of Loki, and he's the god of time now, right? Or like the timelines. He's the
Oh
guardian of
yeah,
the timeline, and yeah, he's kind of like beyond good and bad. He's a good dude, but he just is super powerful. And that's kind of where Seth Rollins is right now, where he's the visionary, he's the architect, he's got Braun Breaker by his side, Paul Heyman on his other, and he's very much like, it's storyline wise, the head of the table, I want to say, like the top of the wrestling business
he's
right now.
back to being the Monday Night Messiah. Is the best way I say it.
Yeah, he actually brought back the jacket, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, which I thought was like,
So,
okay, we're getting back to that Seth Rollins, which is besides the architect and the one that sold out is my favorite Seth Rollins version is that Monday Night Messiah. Just the things he did
hmm
with Buddy Murphy and the whole eye gouging thing, which people don't like, but I thought it was pretty smart to make him more threatening to be a villain.
hmm Yeah, so
That's
that's
actually a good pick for Loki. That's actually
thank you.
really good.
Yeah, and obviously Cody, he's got that Peter Parker look. I feel
Hmm
like that, that's a very notorious phrase. Like, oh, every Spider-Man fan, their favorite bit about Spider-Man is just the fact that the world just beats the shit out of him,
Which has happened
and
to Cody.
time and time again.
Another good one too. I want to say, it just popped into my head. Why it was there and then it disappeared? What the hell? I was gonna say, CM Punk is Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's
Expand
that's
on
an
that a little bit.
interesting. Yeah. So with Punk, he's been through a lot of trials and tribulations based on his name and how Daredevil has been in the comics. Of is he good? Is he bad? Is he this person we should all trust? And he's just trying to build his city, which is Chicago, which is CM Punk. He's trying to build his name and to make it to a better place than what it was before. And he wants to clear the air of being this bad person and refixing his soul and building his character back up to let people know, like, this is the reason why I'm fighting for what I'm fighting for.
Mm.
It's a very narrow connection, but it's something that clicks. And I was like, it's not that bad of a click. Now, if you want to go villain route, you can it can always be I would say Doctor Doom for him, maybe.
Mm. I was gonna say I really enjoyed the Daredevil thing because I just think the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, the Second City Saint. I just like that
Yeah.
connection, that juxtaposition, and I like the comp. So you know what? I like it. I like it. CM Punk, Daredevil, and also I just like both. I love both of them. So I'm cool for
You're
Daredevil
like
being the CM Punk of wrestling. Sure.
the man without fear. That's another good thing too to have for him.
Yeah. Also, I guess the Shadowlands segment would be his Nexus era, maybe, since he
Yeah,
had
that's what I was
the
thinking too.
Goonies with
His
him.
Nexus
Yay.
era. Yeah.
Sick. Okay, I like that. What's the next? What's the next sharpshooter question they got
Let's
for
see.
us? How many do we have, by the way?
We have after that one, it's just like two more, and then we
Sweet.
have my question that y'all
Mm-hmm.
for me, which I think y'all
Yes,
are already
sir.
excited for. Um, let's do if you can go against any wrestler, who would it be and why?
If I went against like me,
Physically, if you
French.
were trained to be a professional wrestler, what wrestler would we pick to wrestle? I hope you say Brock Lesnar. I hope you say Brock Lesnar.
Uh, can I wrestle? Can I wrestle Rhea Ripley?
I knew it was gonna be a girl answer. Why not Io?
I would. I would go. Can I go? Can I do a fatal four way between me, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Jada Parker? Because that I would, I would take the pin. I'll take the pinfall on that one.
Yeah, I think all of us would.
I'll job out to them for sure. Any one of them. But outside of outside of women wrestlers, outside of female wrestlers, hmm,
Goddamn, 149 to 106.
Jesus. Yeah, then that was a pure like we're just here to split the series performance by the Nuggets. Like, we already did our thing. We already got one. Hmm. Do you already have one for that? I'm not
With
if
wrestling, um, I don't know because you have to put into a lot of factors too of what style you like want to wrestle in. I
Right.
mean, of course, you always want to wrestle with the greats. I mean, I want to wrestle with your favorite wrestlers. I mean, CM Punk would always be a fun one, of course, top of my list. Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Um, if I wanted to be kind of like out there, I look, I kind of want to do a death match. I want to do a Texas death match. I think those would be extremely fun to do. So I'll pick John Moxley of all people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going Moxley just because I can test my toughness with him. Like, all right, motherfucker, throw me off this fucking this ladder into a glass table, whatever. See how tough I am. Like that's something I've
Mm.
always wanted to think of.
Are you
Like,
doing
can
a
I?
thumbtack spot? Are you doing a
Yeah,
thumbtack spot?
yeah. Like
Oh.
right on the thumbtacks.
Oh, are you doing the shit? He had that thing recently where he took the nail into his back or whatever, right?
Whatever Moxley wants to do to make me like look like this total badass, I'm doing it. If he wants to
Jesus
fucking
fuck.
DDT me through like the barbed wire bat on it, like I want to have that aura of Mick Foley and John Moxley and Sabu and Sandman and the Dudleys. I want that ECW rap. You know what I mean? I want to hang with the big boys.
Jesus Christ. Damn, man. You went straight for the like the kill shot. That is a really I respect that. That is like a tough one to choose because
And there's only one man I'll be scared to wrestle, and that's New Jack. New Jack is a
uh
psychopath. I don't know if you ever know who. I don't know if you know who New Jack is.
is he the one that brought a shiv to the ring? Is that him?
I guess so.
He
He's
like
the one that
stabbed someone up?
he almost killed a teenager in the ring.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I'm
and then
good.
and then he threw a guy because I think they had like this match where they were on top of like all the way on top of the ring. I think it was like super high, right? And there
Hmm.
was like tables. I believe there was tables stacked. And before that, the guy that he was supposed to do a spot with, they were supposed to do like a Spanish fly off the like the like the exit their exit sign, and they had like that ramp on top for us to jump off, like Jeff Hardy does that Swanton.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was supposed to do a Spanish fly into like a table or something, like a very high spot, and that wrestler kind of like pussied out on New Jack, and New Jack broke his leg or something like that. And New Jack said, "I got receipts for your ass."
Oh
And New
shit.
Jack just threw him off the like that later match. And you're supposed to throw the opponent off the platform to win the match into the table. But New Jack said, "You ain't pussing out. I just threw him." And he threw him. And like he misses the table and his feet hit the rope. Like he could have
Damn.
landed outside. It was crazy. I'm scared of that
Wow.
man. I mean, he's gone. He passed away. Rest in peace, New Jack. But that man is crazy. I oh my god, it was wild.
That's crazy. No, I don't think I can handle a New Jack match. And look, man, if I can't have my fatal four way between me, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky and Stephanie Fakir,
We all
then
know Ray's picking Stephanie Bakir. He wants that
yeah.
shucky ducky quack quack on him.
That,
Ah,
ah.
oh yeah, man.
Yeah, man. If I
Oh,
can't have that, then I would love just like a good, like a good Gunther match. I think I would take a good Gunther match. I love like his style. I think from what I can tell, he takes good care of the people he fights with. But also, I want to take the best chop in the
oh,
business. And Gunther, to me, his chops feel vicious. They feel crazy. I think say what you want about the match, but Mania 41, him versus Jey Uso, when the boys just started clobbering each other, that
no.
was as real as it gets, man. And they just started beating the shit out of each other. So I would love I like me, I like a good storytelling match. And I don't know. I don't even know what the story would be. Like just a little basically the Sami Zayn Jey Uso template but with much less heat.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind a good TLC match, like with Jeff Hardy, John Morrison,
Oh,
Matt Hardy, Edge, Christian, the Dudleys. Like a good TLC match would always be something I want to check off at some point in my
hmm.
life. Like, I mean, of course, I don't know if that's ever happened, but that'd be cool to get thrown through a table and fill a ladder and stuff like that. I think one of
Yeah.
our buddies is training to be a wrestler right now too in the
Oh
chat.
yeah. I heard that. That's pretty cool. I wanna feel a chop. I wanna
I
take a
want to feel a
bump.
bump. Yeah, I want to take a bump.
Yeah, 'cause that shit. It looks like it tires you out. Like it.
I want to take a splash. I know that's crazy to say, but I want to take a splash.
The one thing, elbow drops look like they hurt like a bit. Like do not want to. I
I
do
think
not
they
want to
get
take
on
an elbow
top of the
drop.
chest too, though. Some people do it differently.
I feel like the margin for error is kind of, it's
Yeah,
kind of brutal. I'll take a spear though. I'll take a spear even though that shit would
I
hurt,
I
but I'll
I've
take a
taken a
video of
spear.
it. Yeah? How is it?
It knocked my win out. I remember that. I remember we used to have like these big little battle royals at my old apartments when I was like 8, 9, or 10. And we used to sit like it was like this little patch of grass, right? We used to have this thing called a battle royal, and everyone just started fucking like hitting real wrestling moves on each other. And then
Shit.
I remember I super kicked some kid, right? And I turn around, my friend DQ is running at me full charge. Turn around, just full spear into the concrete. And we were going, oh fuck, and it's just rolling out the ring because how fast that hit me.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you good?" I was like, "I'm fine." He's like, "Okay," and he turns around to throw somebody else. I was like, "Fucking shit! Why are we doing this to ourselves?" And it was like a everyday thing. Like we would have like those wrestling battle royals every day.
That's crazy. Damn,
Yeah,
I do not envy you for taking that a spear. A spear. Yeah, I need someone to record it. That's the thing. I would take a spear, but I need it to be recorded so that way it's like, look at this shit, man.
that'd be so fucking
Um,
cool.
yeah. What's the last question we got from the
The
our
last
third
question
man?
is gonna be, what is our favorite theme song and why and who is it? Pretty much.
Ooh. Huh. Do you have one off the top of your head?
I mean,
I'm
mine varies a lot from the Moonlight Man, but of all time, I really do like This Fire Burns.
yeah.
This Fire Burns
True.
is such a great intro. It gets you excited. I also like Jeff Hardy's No More Words.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. All time favorite will probably be, I do like
Oh, don't take
Metalingus.
mine. Fucking
Is
goddamn
it
it.
Metalingus? Yeah, Metalingus is
Yeah.
great. And I wouldn't even oppose to I Walk Alone by Batista.
God damn it. How are you just gonna take my
I,
two?
I, it's
Because they're
that
great. It's
they're
great,
great
man.
themes. Those are the best
Yeah.
ones. Like um, they're all great. Like it's really hard to pick one favorite.
I
Like
mean, Cult of Personality is a classic, but it's also like a oh, you know what's a really good one that I just not just got into, but I just had a recent experience of like this song pumped me up and got me through this set is South of Heaven, Slayer.
oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a great
I'm
one as well.
I'm thinking of Stone Cold's a good one. I like Stone Cold's Disturbed one.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Is that
Burning
the
My
one with
Light.
lyrics? Is that the one with
Yeah,
lyrics or no?
yeah.
Yeah. Burning My Light, that one's a great one. I feel like Randy Voices is perfect for Randy, especially this version of Randy where, he's a lot more meticulous and
hmm
has an aura about him.
Which is great too. I like the theme song too. Voices by Breath Theory. That's a great band.
Yeah, but this what was it? Fire in My Light, Burning My Light. Um I would love someone else to get that theme for somehow some way. Might get Miles what's his name? Miles Bourne?
Oh yeah, I think it's Miles
The
Born. Yeah,
second coming of Randy Orton. Give him that theme song, man. Let him
yeah, that
run
would
with
be a
it. I
good
don't
one.
know.
I mean, Randy had three. I don't know if y'all knew that. He also had This Fire Burns as his intro
Right, for like one night or something,
for one
right?
night, and then they gave it
Yeah.
to Punk when he debuted.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and then you got to run through the classics. Jey Uso is a fantastic
Yeah,
theme
this was a
song.
great running theme song. I when I run
Yeah,
to the gym, that's a great run one. I
Solo,
actually
taking it
solo,
all.
yeah. I actually like Logan Paul's "Humble" theme song that just came out. Humble.
Yeah,
I actually do like that
it's
thing. I was
it's
listening
good
to it in the
for
gym the other day.
it's kind of a banger. Yeah, Seth Rollins obviously hitting
His
the
his first intro when he was with the Authority was great. Just the
yeah
drums,
yeah.
that hard drum, which is badass. I like Dean Ambrose's "Lunatic" one. Um, I like Adam Cole's AEW one.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that one, so I'm gonna. Dude, that's
That's
a
a
good
great
vibe.
one. MJF is good.
You know who had a really good one is Johnny Gargano's the
Oh,
one
Rebel
Rebel
Heart.
Heart, but the one that
Oh
was sung
yeah.
by a lady. That one was I think I
Tommaso
heard that.
Ciampa is good too. No one will survive.
Oh yeah. That one's a good one. You know who else also has an underrated one that's good for if you're like jogging around your neighborhood is Jake the Snake's theme.
Oh really? I've never heard that one. Like I don't know. Huh?
It's a pure
I'm
80s
surprised.
montage type vibe. That one's a good one to pull up when you're jogging around, you're on your
I
last breath.
would talk about the man on his shirt. I like Bret Hart's theme. It was very iconic.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Come on
Mm-hmm.
now. Classic.
Who else?
Oh,
How?
if you're talking Bret Hart, I'm just a sexy boy.
Uh,
Sexy boy.
Sean. Yeah, Sean had a great theme
That's
song.
to me, that is the one that I put on whenever I got to walk back to my office and just like to carry the momentum back for the rest of the shift is like, yeah, man, I need that sexy boy energy, not your boy toy.
Who
And the
was?
fact that he kept it throughout his pretty much his entire run, from
It's
when he
great.
got it,
Yeah, yeah,
you
it's
know,
great.
and he did
Uh,
switch it up for the Taker match just to give it that, extra oomph when he's descending down. But yeah, he kept the theme and it was really sick. It's like a staple.
um, DX. Since we're on DX, Triple H's theme songs are all bangers. DX's theme song
Yeah.
is
Are you
great.
ready?
I still sing that theme song every day. AJ Styles' theme song.
Valid. Yeah, AJ Styles. Not you're talking about the classic AJ
Yeah,
Styles.
that
Yeah.
want no. Yeah,
Wanna
that
get him
AJ.
on some? Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, Cody Rhodes, Kingdom,
Oh, Kingdom was great.
fantastic. That to me
Look,
is the
I
perfect.
like I like the other Cody theme songs. The Undashing Cody Rhodes,
Yeah.
and then Dashing Cody Rhodes, Smoke and Mirrors. Yeah, those are good too. Oh, and don't forget John Cena's theme song.
That one. So me and my brother, we always do like rebuilds on NBA 2K.
Hmm.
And I've just made it a running joke of like every time we win a championship on our rebuild, I'll throw on a John Cena theme song and just that's our like parade music. Instead of all I do is win, it's John Cena, man. It's a
That's a good
classic.
one.
I
That's a
I
good
remember
one.
watching all the ways how the person like found the samples and mixed them and all that stuff. It's like watching the Mona Lisa get painted. Last one for me that I'll mention, Kurt Angle. Kurt
Oh, Kurt
Angle,
was great.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's a
suck.
great.
You
Um,
suck. It's perfect. Perfect.
I a good one that I really like. I'm gonna leave on the this one is probably gonna be I like Matt Hardy's theme song. The his original one. I can sing for tornado. The
Okay, I'm
little
gonna have to check
Matt
this out.
version one. Oh, that's a great theme song. It's a
Sick.
great theme song.
I'll have to check that one out. Yeah. I like
I
how
think that's all the questions.
they asked for one. What's your favorite theme music? We gave them
Oh,
like
you can't do
30
that
of
with
them.
the wrestling fans. Don't have just one. There's
I
like
know.
50 of them. We got 50 of them. We have that
Yeah.
list of Jericho had when he was in WCW. All the
Yeah,
people he
yeah.
hated. Dean
Just
Malenko.
But yeah, man.
Oh yeah, and Rhea Ripley. Sorry, Rhea Ripley's theme song is badass too. By the way, want to put that out
Yeah.
there. And EO.
Yeah. Oh, come on now. Yeah, that one's a club
Yeah,
banger. If that one came on
yeah.
if that one came on in the club, I would be banging. I'll be banging, bro. Um Yeah. Wait, so is that the sharpshooter segment? Are we letting we're letting the people
Yeah, we're
run
letting
our
them answer their
sharpshooter segment?
questions. I mean, we can still ask
Beautiful.
our questions, but I mean, as we're our third
Yeah.
man, we talk for the majority of the episode.
Dog, we gave y'all like 3 hours straight. Y'all are good. Y'all don't need to to see what questions we got. Um, but yeah, man. Packed episode. Beautiful episode, man. Really good stuff. Yeah.
Did you wanna answer that last question since the five Marvel characters? Because I've been thinking about it since y'all asked the question the other day.
Okay. Give
So
me
number
in case
one, okay, let's go back to first.
no. I was just gonna say, I was just gonna give context. The question is top five MCU characters you'd want to be nurtured by.
So what we're talking about is the Thunderbolts here. Is when
Yes.
Valentina says that this is like nurturing enough for Bob or Century's character in the movie because she wants to be a mother figure to him when he wakes up and all that. Um, but character that I number one, Wanda, Ms. Elizabeth Olsen. That's a great one. That has to be everyone's number one choice.
Absolutely.
Number
100%.
two is gonna be Aunt May. Yep. Was watching Spider Man yesterday or Civil War. Just boom,
No
right there.
words. Oh.
I've
When
been
she
thinking
turns
about that.
around, when she
Mm-hmm.
turns around in Civil War, and you're just like, "Oh, hello, Aunt May."
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
ugh.
Yeah. Okay, so Aunt May, Wanda. Um, I do want to put Yelena in there because I do like Yelena. I think she is like top tier for me of women.
The way
From
she
like,
says Bob in that film, it's
mm-hmm.
just so like if someone were to say my name like that,
Yep.
I
Oh, that's
no
dead set
words.
lock. That's on them.
No words.
Um, what's her name? Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
have no
okay.
idea. It's just that.
That is
Am
the epitome of like, don't what was it, the line from Nick Miller? Don't
Oops.
scream at me, I might fall in love with you.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
Stop being mean to me. I'm gonna fall in love with you, or something like that.
That
Yeah.
there you go. That's the line. That's the line.
Yeah. Hela's up there, big time. And then let me see. I'm thinking of that last one. That last one was hard. I want to put Valentina in there, but she's not new, but there are other characters that deserve to be on this list that I've
Hmm.
had a crush on for a while. Um,
Are we including some of the other like are we including like a Jennifer Lawrence Mystique, a Halle Berry
um,
Storm, you got ScarJo,
no,
Black
no.
Widow, there's
I was never the Black Widow fan.
yeah.
I didn't like ScarJo as much. I always like Wanda. I have I have the weirdest crush on Brie Larson. Don't know why.
No, that's valid. Especially that scene in Miss the Marvels where she's just
I
riding a
think
little tank top.
that might be number five for me. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. It's just I don't know. When she says, "Hey, Spider Man," I'm like, I'm in. I'm in. Let's hear it. Let's go. I,
You know, I don't disagree, not disagree, that's not the right word, but I don't, my list doesn't differ too much from yours. So yeah, Wanda, that's like unanimous number one, like not even close. No one's even close. The question really is just like which movie, which
which
movie,
movie?
Wanda, are you
And
getting?
mine's Doctor. Mine's the fucked up one because I like her evil. So
There you
yeah.
go. There you go. Wanda, Yelena, um, I'm so tempted to put Sylvie from the Loki show.
Oh, that's another good one. I forgot about Sylvie.
Yeah,
I
that
actually did like
or
Sylvie.
Gamora.
Oh, Gamora's a good one too. God damn it.
Yeah, with the green skin color, like don't
I
change a
want to
thing,
do. I'm gonna do
Gamora.
Nebula too, so I can put the plunger on her head.
That's just the thing. That's your weird kink that you got going
Yep.
on. You just want to put the plunger. Oh, mm. Okay, so it was Yelena, Scarlet Witch, or yeah, Scarlet Witch, Wanda, um, Elektra from the Daredevil
No,
series. She just
look,
has this energy that I just love about her. It's just
it's not a bad pick. I was gonna say Karen too, and She Hulk, but you know that was a good one.
yeah, Karen, I want her to be my friend. I don't know if I want to put her in that as her nurturing me
What
because
about Heather?
she no, she can save herself. She's too busy saving herself to care about me. Um, Fuck it. I'm putting Gamora in there
Good
and
pick.
then give me give me Peggy. Yeah. Okay, that's my five.
Oh, I forgot Peggy.
Oh,
Oh,
wait, sorry, drop. You know what? I hate to do this to you. I hate to do this to Gamora. I might have to drop Gamora. I'm putting in the assistant who is from Thunderbolts.
oh
Um
yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but yeah, I my life I my life is never going to be the same after having watched Thunderbolts.
I was
Anyways,
thinking of another older character too that's in the movie. One of those movies. I just forgot who she
Maria Hill?
was. No, that's a good one too. I think that would be a Matt pick because I know Matt loves her a lot.
Hmm. I'm curious what
Um,
Ray's picks would be because, like I said, he's a very wholesome energy.
he's picking Wanda all the way through. He's picking
Just
Wanda.
Just Wanda from the different movies and
The thing
shows.
about Ray is that he'll feed off our picks and then try to make it his own. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna feed off our picks and then make it his own picks. And you'll be like, bro, that's just our picks combined. But they're my picks. No, they're not.
Hey, Ray will be able to answer for himself next week.
I don't know who's that. I'm thinking of that last character. Like I thought about her and she just disappeared from my head. Guardians, Iron Man, Captain America, Winter Soldier. No, no. Can't think of it. Oh, Wasp. Wasp,
Oh,
Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly.
oh
That's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah. Very beautiful. Anyways, I think we've undercovered Goon for as much as we could
Gwen
here.
Stacy from
So,
Spider-Man, by the way. Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man. Bryce Dallas
oh my
Howard.
God. Oh, I thought you were talking about Emma Stone. Well, I mean both.
Oh, I mean both, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah. Shit. Oh, if we're talking about Spider-Man characters, Liz Allen as well. I
I
love
didn't
Rebecca
like
Harris.
Liz. She was my
Yeah.
least. I
I love
tried.
like yeah.
I thought she was pretty, and I was like, nah, I can't.
My problem with the Holland movies is them trying to make Zendaya seem like she's just another girl. She's like a girl next door because she is like so
No.
like I hope in the next movie she just is Zendaya but Mary Jane or what is it? Michelle Jones Watson.
Oh
But
yeah.
come on, like just let Zendaya be Zendaya plus in the MCU and do the you just hit the jackpot tiger line. Like give us what we want. Give me what I want. To quote to quote Drax here.
Oh,
Um
Mantis. Mantis is not bad.
yeah. You know, Mantis, if we're talking about actually like who would I want to be nurtured by, not in the other sense, not as an innuendo, but genuinely nurtured by, she's got a good
Mantis.
energy about her. Yeah.
Mantis wins that by a landslide.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it on that note. I think that's the note we want to end this episode on is
I get the I get the
ooh.
Catherine Han. Baggy.
Dude, I'm I'm picturing because you did mention you like a good alt goth vibe
Oh
on a
yeah.
lady. I'm just yeah, like you got that in abundance. Wanda, Agatha, um, Yelena has got a good,
Hmm.
especially in this past movie, she's got a real goth energy about her. Um, there was someone else that I was just thinking about. I mentioned Wanda. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us. We're gonna figure out this out off air because we've dedicated enough time to Goonie. So that's it for y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed that episode, every little bit of it, because
We
yeah,
appreciate the third man joining our podcast.
yeah, and hope that made up for last week. Obviously, not being able to be here, so we'll give you a little extra there. I hope you'll join us next week where we question Ray on just
Hmm.
who his five is, and we'll see if it ends up just being exactly what Ephraim mentioned.
And who knows, maybe the next Sharpshooter question for us is our top 5 wrestling women crushes of all time.
Put a pin in that for sure. But that'll do it for us. Kayfabe and Chill, episode 4. Let us know how we did in terms of are we beating the gorilla? Let us know.
Please comment. Yeah, please comment. Let us know. Be
Yeah,
interactive with us.
yeah. And take care, y'all. Peace.
CC out.